Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to see you all. How's it going? How was Space Marine 2? It was great, Boltsy. I had a blast playing it. Just wanted to sit down and play something. I figured why not just shoot up some Xenos. It was fun. It was great. What's up, Duns? How you doing, man? Yes, it's an early stream. I didn't go to work today because of the snow. You're prepping today? Oh shit, what we prepping? It's gonna be a fun day. Oh man. Hopefully you don't work yourself too hard, my guy. I know you have to do a lot over there. But what is up? What's good? How are we all doing today? We are back. Back at it again, chat. Back at it again. Speak up too low? Oh man, damn, I thought I fixed that. It happens. It happens. It happens. For some odd reason, sometimes this thing works right, sometimes it doesn't. I don't get it at times. I think it's something on my end. I'm just too stupid. Let me try this real quick. All right. Hopefully that helps the situation there. Just let me know if I'm still too low. You can barely hear me. Huh. That's weird. It was working fine yesterday. Let me hear myself real quick. Let's see if I can get this resolved. I wonder if my mic is actually starting to go. I mean, that is a possibility. All right, let me see. Let me see. Testing. Hmm. I can hear myself, but I might have to look into it and see what the hell's going on there. But either way, let me know if you still can't hear me. I don't know what else to fix on my end. Because I cranked up my volume. Yeah, volume's cranked. Oh wait, there might be something. Oh wait. I got it. I know what it is. All right, let's see, huh? How's that sound? That sound any better to you guys? Come on, get back. There we go. All right. Hopefully that fixes it. I hope. I hope. It's all right. All right. Cool. I'll have to really sit and tinker with this later, see why it's still coming in so low. But anyway, so today I wanted to go over the DSP Quartering interview. I don't know if anybody really sat and went over it. Cherry? Like, I don't know if anybody sat and went over the Quartering interview. I want to go over it. How many times Pepsi has been cameoed in anime? Oh, man, a lot. A lot. Like, more times than I care to count. Sometimes you'll see Coke, but mainly Pepsi. Sometimes you'll even see him drink a Sprite. Of course, it's called something else. But I wanted to go over this because it's one of those weird things. Like, everyone knows everyone knows this interview was a sham, essentially. Or as we like to say, it was a shot at Rich. From wait, is this? Could that be it? No, that's not it. But oh, that is it. Oh God, I'm stupid. All right, there we go. Fixed it. So I'm sure we're not gonna get anything out of this interview, but I want to see what can be gained from it. Like, what can we pull from it? What's up, Shile? How you doing, man? Boring as hell. Yeah, I mean, we know it's a boring interview. Most definitely, it's a boring interview. There wasn't really much to be gained from it, but there might be some little tidbits in there that can be gained, and that's what I'm here to find out. I'm here to find out if I can really find any tidbits, anything that's really worth it. But let's just get into it.
I have. This is the most popular question.
Okay.
You're right.
Now, I skipped the beginning of this because it is nothing but the Quartering talking about the interview, how he, interviewed DSP and some video he didn't like. It was just nothing worth having in there.
Where did the load go?
I mean,
I don't like that video I made last week. That was the first video I ever made about you, even though I've known about you for many years. I'm not like a
all right, Dunce.
Call it a detractor channel.
No, absolutely not. That's honestly one of the reasons why when I saw the video, I was like, this guy is not someone who constantly rags on me. I watched the video. Yeah, you took some shots at me. Everyone has, right?
Yeah,
so it didn't offend me, and I was like, you were actually being honest and upfront, and you were analyzing it from kind of a third-party standpoint that was fair about these asshole independent media bullshit, trying to attack me. And I was like, this guy actually is like legit. Like, this is a fair video about me. Out of all the stuff that gets made about me, very rarely do I get a fair video made about me. So
okay, so a fair video about you, Phil. You realize people, and this is, past Phil, obviously. Oh, yeah, it was softball to the max. Softball to the fucking max. But right there, he's like, oh, this guy was the most fairest person to give me a fair take, da-da-da-da. And, well, we know Phil had to turn around and retcon that years later because he sat there and admitted that the Quartering caught flat for this interview. That's really the only reason he allowed the Side Scrollers interview to go the way it went. Because he knew he couldn't have another one of these. It just wouldn't look good for him.
So that's why I kind of stood out.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that, when I saw those articles came out, it was like, oh, DSP says some racist shit. And then they post to like videos from 2 years ago or something like that. Of you essentially doing like ching chong bing bong, which is, by the way, done by every mainstream media, person in the last 10 years. So, it's not like you were saying anything in particular, anything crazy offensive or anything like that.
But this is also coming from a guy who got so drunk he had to piss in the drain in his basement. So keep that in mind too.
And a lot of these outlets, as you saw in the video, they were unaware of your uncancelability. So, maybe I'll start with, like, I don't want to just jump right in and with some like questions that are going to put you on guard or whatever. So maybe some like reasonable questions, because to be honest with you, it might surprise you. Like most of my viewers are not people that are used, like, to be honest, most people that replied to those threads were like, ask genuine questions. As you saw the list, you're like, oh, these aren't that bad.
It's not that bad.
So that's kind of what I'll start with. So,
hey, well, Swade.
Hey, I'm a YouTuber too.
How you doing, man?
Content creator just like you. What are your
I mean, anyone on the platform technically is a content creator. See, sorry, I had to mute myself instead of having a coughing fit. So here's the thing, though. Anyone who does this is technically a content creator. Like, as much as I say, hey, Anders Pack, as much as I say I am not a content creator, I am a content creator. I am still creating something to put out for people to watch. So to hear people say, oh, well, I'm a content creator, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, anyone that does social media like this is a content creator. We are creating something for an audience. Even if you're just starting out and you got one view, you were still a content creator. So hate's a strong word, but fuck it, we're going to use it in this case. I hate when people turn around and try to use that as a way to like, oh, let me ease it up a little bit by saying content creator. No one cares about that. It's a throwaway line that no one needs to say. Anyone who watches YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, what's the other? Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute. Kick, any of these sites is a content creator. They are creating something, whether they do it with malice, whether they do it for fun, whether they do it just because they're bored. Everyone's is in there. All I did was use the drain, so the fairly sober all things considered.
Plans for post YouTube, you know, or post streaming, or have you even thought of that? So have you given any thought to, like, I mean, I think about it, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. Like, I mean, you see my content. It's shit. We all know my content shit. I do this for fun, something to do when I'm bored by myself. Nothing, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, this is just hey, get together, do something. A couple of people come in and watch. Good enough for me.
especially because I don't have a streaming presence like you do. I just have YouTube.
At this time, he didn't. Later on, that does change. The Quartering does have a small streaming presence on Twitch. And he does some streams here on YouTube. It's rare.
I know, like, if you're on YouTube, you have maybe a year or two. If you're not, DSP. Like, most...
See, right there, like, there's no need to say that, like, a year or two unless you're DSP. Well, what about PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Dashy Gaming, Angry Video Game Nerd, hell, Side Scrollers, Keemstar. I mean, the list goes on of people that are still doing this that have been, you know, doing it for more than just 1 to 2 years. Now, yes, a lot of people that do attempt do stop after 1 or 2 years because they're not yielding the results that they think they should have by that time. And if we were going to use an example, like I could use myself as the example. I've been doing DSP streams for what, 4 years now? 5 years? Something like that. My audience is still relatively small. I've grown a little bit, you know, stuff like that. And that's fine. This stuff takes time. I mean, if I had thumbnails and whatnot, and quite frankly, if I thought I was a little bit more entertaining, then that might change. And I get that. I understand that. I'm not upset about that in the slightest. We all grow at our own pace. But some people, they expect to be at a certain point within a timeline. So again, this statement is still untrue.
Most YouTubers have a pretty small window. So have you given any thought to, like, you know, what the fuck am I going to do after all this? Or, you know, how does that thought process go?
Still swaying on the X and Y axis?
First of all, when I started, I never wanted to do this for a living at all. This was only, I wanted to do this for a hobby. And then I lost my full-time job. Out of nowhere, I got laid off, blindsided. And I just had this YouTube thing going on the side for like 2.5 years that had kind of blown up and gone viral.
This is back like 2012, 2013-ish era, right?
Actually, even before then, I lost my job in October of 2010.
Okay.
And so we're talking real old school. This was before like you could even monetize gameplay videos on YouTube. They wouldn't even let you put ads on them yet. And I lost my job. I was like, what am I going to do? And I already had this YouTube channel that had a good following, but it was only for gameplay. And I was like, shit, I can't monetize that. What do I do? So I had a vlogging channel where I was doing stupid crap. I was making food that was terrible food and, you know, just dumb stuff just to have some variety in my content. I said, maybe I can monetize that. So I did. And because people felt so bad about me losing my job, they actually like went nuts on the ads, and I made like a ton of money in a couple months, which is like one of my first controversies was that I got kicked out of Google AdSense within 2 months because they claimed that I did like invalid click activity when I didn't. It was because my fans were like so supportive of me and felt bad that I lost my job.
You told them to click the ads. You told your fan base to click. See, and this right here, you know, he's trying to rewrite his history by, they felt bad for me. No, you told them to click the ads. Like, this is why it's always funny to see him. He wants these softball interviews so he can say his narrative when it's like, the evidence is there of you saying click the ads. So don't say, oh, well, they felt bad for me. Well, we can go back I mean, we can't go back on your page because you made sure to get rid of it. But people have it where we can sit there and look up and show that you told people to click those ads. What's up, Vanguard? I'm doing all right, my man. How about yourself? Saying you have 600 subs or so. It's about 590 more than you expected. Yeah, like I'm not even 500 yet, and like I still have fun with this. Yeah, I do just because, and that's the one thing that DSP cannot understand is he thinks this is our job, that we all get paid making fun of him, and it's like, dude, I'm not even monetized, so how am I getting paid making fun of you if I don't even have the 500 sub threshold? What's up, Fandel? How you doing, my guy? Good to see you.
Cooking the crap out of my ads. But then in 2011, I got partnered with Machinima, and that's how I was able to start monetizing my gameplay videos. And I was
rest in
like
peace, by the way,
load.
Machinima.
Yeah,
you outlasted them too. Another person that DSP has outlasted.
Yeah, that's a whole other story for another day. I was one of the people who stayed with them the longest after years of people telling me to leave them and abandon them because they saw the warning signs of them being a bad company and falling apart.
You stayed with them because you didn't want to do things on your own. Like, yes, at that point in time, having a partner program was a good thing. But then once people found out that they were doing a lot better by themselves, partnership programs were kind of just getting phased out. And Phil just wanted someone else to always do the work, carry the load for him, so to speak. So, oh, well, Machinima's paying me. They're doing all the work. They're getting all the figures. I don't have to do anything. I just have to put out work. I say work. It's not work. It's just playing a video game, which anybody can do. Get better. I was numb this morning because one of my family members had passed away. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, Vanguard. Oh, man, you have my sympathies. If you ever need anyone to talk to, man, let me know. My ear is always open. He never stops amazing me how he keeps lying despite the literal evidence. Yeah, because he wants to rewrite his history. If you were ignorant, that's what DSP wants. DSP wants you to remain ignorant to his past so he can do what he's doing right now, the usual diatribe that we've heard 100,000 times on videos and streams about a fucking helicopter company that honestly nobody gives a fuck about. Like, this is... Alright. This is the sad thing, okay? And I know people don't like it. Yeah, sure, Vanguard. You know I don't mind. Let me go ahead and let me get in there. There you go. I'm in, man. Pop on in whenever you like. So, this DSP has 2 crowning achievements in his life as of right now. 2. 1, being 4th place at Evo, which doesn't matter, but that's still a crowning achievement for him. 2nd, technically this would be the first one, but no, this would be the second one. Him losing his job and then blowing up on YouTube. And I say blowing up extremely loosely. These are the only 2 times that DSP has actually done anything. What's up to Blank Duval? How you doing, man? Good to see you. It's been a minute. What's up, Vanguard? How you? I won't say how you doing, but you have my condolences, man. I'm sorry to hear what happened.
No, it's all good, man. Hold on 1 sec. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me put this in Discord for you.
Okay, no, because I had to make sure this mic, because sometimes, Discord, where the mic be acting up. But what happened was, I was at work, and then I get home, and I'm just like settling down, whatever.
Yeah.
And I get a phone call from my mother, right?
Yeah.
And normally she and I would talk, whatever, and I can hear in the voice something's going on. I'm like, Mom, what's going on? Everything okay? She's like, I don't want to talk. I'm like, what is going on? Because I know how she gets. She's like, my brother passed away, which is my uncle. I'm like, excuse me?
Damn.
And it's one of my uncles who unfortunately developed Alzheimer's, but this is like the beginning stages. And I've seen this before. I didn't think it was going to be said. I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. What's
but
up,
then
Casper?
when I found out when that happened, I'm like, the fuck? Because I see it's happened
Yeah.
to my grandmother, and she didn't pass away till she was much deep in the stage. So I'm like, okay, well, we got time.
Mm.
Well, no, and he just passed away suddenly today. So I'm like, the fuck, man. So I'm just like sitting there thinking, and I was getting ready to edit some more videos on Phil, but my mind was just not even thinking about editing at that point. I'm like, fuck Phil at the moment.
Yeah,
So I tried it.
he's an afterthought. Fuck that.
Yeah, yeah. So I tried to lie down, just sit down, lie down. Bro, I couldn't even sleep no more than 10 minutes. Get up, and I'm just like, why? Like, how did I not see this coming?
That, that's the thing. Like when my grandmother passed away, I've told the stories before, so it's nothing new. But
Mm.
like she was, we knew she was sickly, but this particular day, she was doing everything. When it was to the point I was doing everything for her. I mean,
Right.
she could still do things for herself, but I
Mhm.
was doing everything because I wanted to alleviate a lot of the issues she was having. Yeah, I still worked and all, but I'm like, hey, I'm living
Mhm.
here. Least I can do is cook, clean, wash, all that stuff.
Right.
And I was supposed to work that night. I was playing like a free version of WoW, and I was like, oh, well, I gotta get ready to get ready to take a shower and get ready for work and all blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
And she all of a sudden is just like, yeah, I'm not feeling too well. Da, 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 da. I'm like, well, fuck, going to work. If you're feeling like that, let's go ahead and get you to the hospital.
Right.
And within 2 minutes, you could just say all hell broke loose, and she
Jesus
died in my
Christ.
arms, like in the house that night.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I know what you
I'm sorry,
mean.
my man.
It's all right. It was 2009, so it's been a while now.
2009. I mean, it's just damn. I'm sorry. You actually, well, Jesus. I mean, that's wow.
Yeah, that's why I said like when Phil was talking about his parents dying,
I know. I know. When he
that
said that,
rubbed me the
that's why
wrong way,
I don't
considering.
blame. I
Yeah,
don't blame you one bit. I
yeah,
don't blame it, and that got on my nerves too. But you have a more reason why to be pissed off at that, and that's
yeah.
why again, when Phil said the little bullshit he said last time, smart guys, and I heard it again, I'm
I
like,
need. I
I'm gonna
didn't
take.
watch it.
I'll give you a quick summary. It was boring most of the time, cringe. They wanted to pass stuff, and then PP asked about the situation between Broside 220. I'll have to give City clip from duty, but Phil tried to retcon that shit again, and he felt misbelief.
Oh, of course
And
he
it's like
would.
you're going to disrespect Broside and the detective. Okay, motherfucker, I can't wait for Broside to react to this because Broside already warned him, do not disrespect my character, who I am. That's the first
Yeah,
one. Phil didn't
he was a
listen to it.
cop.
Exactly, exactly. And again, I'm so
Thank you
I'm
guys.
delayed.
It's okay though. It's okay. It happened a long time ago. I mean, technically, I've never been right since her death, but I still make it.
Again, that's the reason why I was gonna try to get that video out today, and I kept saying I was gonna toy the idea of delay it tomorrow. Now I definitely am because I mean I'll still do some editing maybe later on today. I'm just not sure if I'm gonna do that, but I'll delay it for tomorrow because I just want to like just sit back, let
Yeah,
it process.
get your thoughts right,
Yeah,
get your head right first before you do make
hmm
any moves. That
yeah,
the
exactly.
one thing I'll tell you, have people with you
hmm I did
because
speak to
that was
my
the only
I
thing keeping me going when my grandmother passed.
right.
Like Icy could tell you my grandmother's passing damn near destroyed my psyche.
Jesus.
Yeah, like she was the person I could tell her anything, even if my problem was with her, I could still talk to her about it.
Right.
Like she was my rock, and that foundation was gone, so I had to do something.
No, I totally understand that. I
It
totally
feels
understand that.
imploding more than blowing up on YouTube. That is true,
And again,
Spurs. How you doing, man?
and again, I want to reach out, talk to somebody, especially you guys, because it's just on my mind. I'm just like, why? Like, what the hell? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, why?
yeah,
What
I
the
get that.
hell? You know?
I get that fully. Like I said, I'm
Uh,
here. Even if I'm not able to talk, I can still
mm,
message. Anytime.
it don't even matter, man. As long as you message, we talk, stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I know we're supposed to do this interview. And chat, I apologize for bringing down the mood. It's just this happened so suddenly, and I'm just like, damn.
I get that, man. I get that. I get that. Maybe hopefully we can lighten the mood with making fun of DSP in this interview and
Well, so far between you and then Mokiness, spoke to her a little bit earlier. She helped me lighten the mood, and it's just like I just need to talk to some people, like joke and laugh, because I know if I don't talk about it, I know how I am. It's gonna boil up, and then I'm gonna explode and stuff. And it's just like I need to just let it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, bad
You know?
boy.
So again,
Yes,
Chad,
no
I
day.
apologize. The video that I had planned is gonna be delayed till tomorrow. I just need some time for today to get my head right. That's all.
Take all the time you need. Don't rush it. Trust me, you will
I'm not
regret rushing
rushing
it.
I'm not.
And
I'm not rushing
it
it,
can
definitely.
it can foul your outlook on life. So don't rush it.
Right.
Your mom died of Parkinson's and it was many years of
Jesus.
downward spiral, and oh man, you have my sympathies, Andrews back.
Mhm.
You have my
And-
sympathies, man. Damn, like it's
and
weird
yes, I
though
really
when
apologize.
like I tell people that I feel like listening to you guys' stories is worse than mine. They're like somebody I actually know in real life was like, how they were in your arms. It's like, yeah, but at least they had the comfort of not being by themselves. There's that's the way I look at it. It's a terrible disease.
It is. It is Parkinson's. I'll say what she passed with him. Alzheimer's. It's a painful disease. That's one disease I pray to God that does not. I don't get. It runs my mom's side of family. My grandmother got it. Now my uncle. I hope my mother doesn't get it. She has not showed the symptoms. Thank goodness she has not showed the symptoms, because one of the biggest symptoms is forgetting a lot of stuff, and she hasn't done that. Thank goodness. It's now minor stuff here and there. That's normal. But like forgetting your name, forgetting where you're at, that was the big warning signs. Because that was the same thing my grandmother did. And I was 5 years old at the time when she got Alzheimer's. She passed away when I turned about 21, 22, but she was in the late stages, and we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Still doesn't make it any easier.
Hey,
Lewis,
how you doing?
just making fun of Phil right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Oh, really? You got an SSD? Hell yeah, Spurs fan. That's what's up, man. Marble Wibbles? I need to get back into that game.
But I stuck with them almost till the very end, until basically they mistreated me, and I was like the last guy. I was like, I've stuck up with you guys all these years. You're gonna treat me bad. I'm out of here. But
no, Phil. Let's get that straight. Like, this is another lie he likes to tell. Like, oh, you're gonna mistreat me, and it's like, no, you decided to take a situation and go above the guy that was designated your helper or your help or your point of contact.
Mm-hmm.
And you went above him to go to the guy that runs Machinima. And then after dude told you, like, hey, you can't be doing that, then you threatened to leave. So they cut you loose. Oh, go ahead.
Did you hear what happened to R2 recently?
Only thing I heard was him sitting on a pizza and then eating it.
He got fired from Local Live.
What?
I'm serious. He got fired from Local Live. Dead serious.
Wow. I almost choked on my drink on that.
It's not a joke, guys. It's serious. I had to double check. When I first heard, I thought it was a joke. I waited.
What's up, Hum Along? How you doing?
Local Live.
How do you get?
I don't know. I haven't watched Local Live that much. But for what I'm understanding, him and Keem have not been on good terms. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, Keem's like, yeah, I'm firing him. And boom, he gets fired. I'm like, the fuck? So at first I thought it was a rib. I thought it was a joke. Because you know how Keemstar is. I'm like, let me wait. And then sure enough, it's the truth.
Fired from Local Live. Yeah, that's hilarious. God
but anyway,
damn.
Now, chat. Normally, I don't feel bad. Normally, I feel bad when somebody gets fired. In Rich case, I don't feel bad. I was like, okay, well, whatever. But then it's like funny. It's like it comes up to a year where Rich, didn't you fire Jay a year ago?
Yep. And then it comes back on him. But see, this is like we say, you can't help lolcows. You cannot help them because this is what they're going to do every single time. They're going to do something stupid. They're lolcows for a reason.
Yeah,
I
like
know they had a
God, man, Quartering. Where do you want your camera? You're just moving too much of your screen around, dude. Pick a spot and leave it. Shit.
Well, an
I'm
interesting
sorry.
reputation.
Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit picky here. Why is his screen so tiny? I can barely see him. Like, what kind of interview is this?
This is on Skype.
But bro, that screen should be a lot bigger. I can barely see him, and I'm looking at him. It's like, what is he doing? I know this is years ago, but god damn.
Only thing I can think of is because he doesn't at this point he didn't do interviews, so I'll give him a little bit of leeway there, a little bit. And actually, now that I think about it, we're getting a look in Phil's room right now at this time, and look how junky it is. We got shit everywhere. Like, everywhere is shit piled up.
Is that a heater on the left side or a fan?
That's a fan.
I'm looking at.
That's a fan.
I thought so.
But still,
Then what is that? Is
that a whiteboard in the back? No, that's a filing cabinet in the back behind him.
Oh, that's what I thought so. But what is that on top of that damn thing?
That above it, that is the I'm gonna say that's the PS4 virtual reality headset. Now the stuff on top of that, I have no idea.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm like. I'm trying to look. Well, all that crap is on top of that thing. Yeah. I have no clue. Okay.
This room is junky, man. Just straight up fucking junky.
You're right. They profit off of a lot of creators.
Yeah.
In the beginning, that I mean, shoot, I've been on YouTube so long that I don't.
Same
know, you
thing, Spurs. Same
too.
thing. Like again, I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but that screen is
your own
tiny.
Banner.
Yeah.
Remember, you get like back in the good old days.
Yeah.
But then I remember Machinima back then was, everybody wanted. It's the only way you can make money.
Enhance, right. Yes.
You had to be with someone to monetize anything really, or gameplay in particular. Because in 2011, if you weren't with a partnership company, you couldn't make a dime on a gameplay video, and that's what I was known for.
Yeah.
But anyway,
not enough background noise to make your stream even worse without
I never
added
planned on doing this to make any money. Like I fell in my lap out of nowhere overnight. I was like, oh.
It wasn't overnight again. Phil, it was a. See, this is where Phil's stupidity really shines, and I'm gonna call it stupidity. He already admitted he was doing this 2.5 years prior to him being able to make money off of this, right? So Phil, it didn't just overnight fall in your lap. You already had 2.5 years, and I will say, of build up to the point that you reached monetization or receiving some type of financial revenue for doing YouTube. It wasn't an overnight thing. Now, you could say the amount of money that you became in possession of at that time, sure, but not overnight. Just this just fell in my lap overnight. Like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Crap, this is amazing. I'm making more money now than I ever did at my office job, for 5 years that I was.
And this is what fucked over a lot of society. Because you're doing something that requires virtually no work, and you were able to make more money doing it than working or going into business for yourself. Even though this is technically going into business for yourself. But it's kind of sad that you can make more money doing YouTube, Twitch, Kick than you can if you opened up your own restaurant or your own store or your own arcade or anything like that. It still boggles my mind.
I was working there, they laid me off, and now I'm making so much more money. It's crazy. Of course, we all know that bubble didn't last. It burst, and now everything is so bad on YouTube.
So bad. Okay, are you still able to buy your own things? Are you still able to lavish yourself in a life of luxury with items that most people can't afford because their 9-to-5 job doesn't pay enough? No, you're still able to lavish yourself in the life of luxury. So YouTube is still paying very well, even today, after the adpocalypse, as you guys want to call it. A lot of things contributed to that adpocalypse. Phil, PewDiePie was just what sent it over the edge, and many other creators. When people did the comedies like, I'm gonna use it. I don't think this is right, so you can hang me for it later. But like you had things like the whitest kid you know, the people doing the N-word joke with a group of black people, and so on and so forth, and being vulgar, and it, like all this stuff attributed to the burst. This contributed to the apocalypse. It was just PewDiePie at that time when he paid those, I think they were Indians.
Ice, quick question. At the time when he was working this helicopter job, what year was that, by the way?
The helicopter job was like 2008, 2009, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Maybe even 2007. So between that time period, I believe. What's up, Roach Bait? Well, what is the daytime treat? Ah, thank you, Hubbalong. I tried.
No,
I
I'm
tried.
asking that because he's talking about how he's making more money now, which, well, at the time, let's say at the time, there's helicopter job, and I'm trying to pull up at the year, at least the minimum yearly he was making at that time.
I think he was making like, I want to say it was like 16, 17 at that time. So
the thing is, he didn't say. He said the helicopter job, but he didn't say what part. We don't know if he was engineering.
Oh, even though we all know he was call center, he was help desk. I mean,
okay, help desk. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, he was help desk. He was just they call in, they need a part. He reads off the list of products for that part, and then helps them pick out the one, and then puts in the order, and then it's sent out to them. He did nothing special.
Okay, that narrows it down. So now I have a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
So let's see. Help desk roles at the time.
And then Phil fucked up by saying he was getting like 15 to 20 grand from Machinima. And that was in a month. This isn't in the space of 2 months or 3 months. That's 1 month. His first check, I think he said, was like $15,000. You're telling me you blew $15,000 in 1 month? Like, this is the thing that Phil also doesn't understand why people make fun of him for. You're getting 15, 20 grand a month and you didn't save a dime? That Connecticut condo should have been paid off in maybe a year. A year. That condo should have been paid off.
Also, Ice, Humlon is correct. I just want to back him on that one.
Oh, wait, what did he say?
He was making somewhere between 17, 18 at the time, so which is not too bad at the time. If Phil had put a little bit of effort, because you know how much of a lazy motherfucker he is even back then. If he put some time, maybe he wouldn't have been one of the people that got laid off. Maybe he was more on something else. But again, this is Phil. We know how he is. He's a lazy son of a bitch. He'll rather He'll rather have people give him money, even at that time, than him going out there to work and earn his keep.
Yeah. So, like, we're looking at then, if we rewind the clock back to 2000, between 7 to 9, 18 bucks an hour, 19 bucks an hour, you're making roughly 990 to 1120 a paycheck. You can live off of that back then.
Let's say, for example, that's bi-weekly. Let's say that.
Yeah, I'm going with bi-weekly.
Yeah.
What's up, Liquid Carl? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Big ups. Yeah, at that time. That's why I'm specifying at that time, because I make 18 now. Like, I make 18 now, and with overtime, we're looking at almost $1,400. So I can make it work now. That's rent, electric, car.
Wait, Ice, hold on. Ice, hold on. Real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off, my man. We'll go with 18. Let's say at the time, at 18 at the time, we know I forget the sales tax, the tax at the time. What I calculate the point before taxes, you're making $1,400. Let's say after taxes, he might bring home $1,100 to $1,200. That's still more than enough for him to last for a while.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying though. Think about it this way. He got that condo, right, on his job. So he got that on his job's dime.
Hey, Home Alone, you muted there.
Then, hey, Home Alone. So then he got his servant's package after the job let him go, which that's usually enough to sustain you because that's based on length of time you've been there. So let's just say he had enough for 4 months, because that's what mine was. Mine was for 4 months. So I'm basing it off of mine. So he had a little bit of wiggle room with the service package, giving him the same amount of money. Then if he wanted to, which he did, he could pull from his 401k from the job. So that give him an extra couple of months. All right, then he starts making money on YouTube, which, as he said himself, he made over 15 grand on his first YouTube check. He didn't replenish any of the money he spent up to that point just to live in that condo. So that money wasn't replenished. We've made all this money. We didn't start pushing the condo to be paid off or close to being paid off. We just started indulging ourselves in everything else.
Hey, Dwight.
And everything else, which, hold on, I gotta do it because the Dwight's here. Wait, let me get to it. Where is it?
Y'all going over the quarter pounder?
Yes, going over the quarter pounder. So we've gone from filmmaking possibly 950 to 11. No, I mean it was 950 to 1120.
950 to 1100.
Yeah. So we're going from that, losing the job, to the severance package, which is still going to be the same amount of money he's making, to then pulling the 401k, which, how long did he work at the helicopter company? Like 2 years, something like that?
I want to say max 2 years, maybe a year and a half, something like that.
Something like that. Let's just, for sake of argument, let's give him 4 years. Because that's how long I was at my company.
4 years, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough.
So my 401k from my company was $5,500. If you pulled from that, you would get $2,200. So he pulled that. He's only getting like $2,200. YouTube starts paying him $15,000 first check. No money. Just let that sink in.
Say that one more time.
Makes a $15,000 check from YouTube or Machinima. No money. Just let that sink in. This dude literally hit a lottery ticket and has no money.
Term for me, I
He probably had to pay off all them debts and shit. And he probably, there's the thing, people always forget, like, we don't 100% know what Phil does behind the scenes.
True.
So, like, but we do know he's an habitual liar. So it's like, rule of thumb, if he tells you something, you might want to, like, double that.
Yeah.
Or actually, Dwight, what I like to do is triple check it just to be certain.
Well, not even the triple check part. I'm talking about, like, if Phil's saying, like, oh, I owed 5,000, he probably owed more than 5,000.
Oh, absolutely.
He's downplaying that I owed 5,000. But he's downplaying it because it's probably more. The same way we try to sit there and go, oh, I only spent a couple hundred on the Champions game, when we know he spent thousands.
Yes.
On that game. He'll sit there and die on the hill of, oh, I spent a couple hundred. We know that's a lie. Nigga, you spent a couple hundred in a minute.
And the thing is, he let that slip with that he let that slip when he played it live.
We've seen the Champions logins, bro. You consistent.
And still consistent.
Publicly ask him how much money you spent. He'll always tell you, oh, a couple dollars here and there. Well, we know it's thousands.
Yup. And so, like by the bank leagues, 40 at least.
You might as well times that by 2. Times it by 2.
Because he
like I said,
he's incapable of telling the truth.
Yesterday, talking about how I did all this and I was doing all that. Motherfucker, wasn't you customer service?
Yes. All you did was just listen to them call and help them pick up parts.
What the fuck you doing there on the design floor? Get your ass back to your desk.
Exactly. Get back in your cubicle, bitch.
You over here wandering. You got time to lean. You got time to clean. Get back to work.
Exactly. What's up, Avalanche? Big us, my guy.
having an audience that cares about what I say and do on a daily basis. Like, I never thought in my life I would have anyone who gave a shit about what I cared about, anything about a game or anything about any opinion about it.
Quartering, fix your fucking camera.
Oh my god. Quartering your fucking camera. Fix it. Jesus. I know it's old, but this is what irks me.
Dude,
Like,
this
dude,
camera, he done moved
fix
that bitch
your
like 3
fucking
times
camera.
already. We ain't even 8 minutes in.
About anything, right? It's pretty awesome to know that there's hundreds of people, thousands of people on my YouTube channel on a daily basis that want to know what I'm up to, what I'm playing, what's my opinion on a game, what's my opinion on this or that.
Okay, and I like how he's living in the past with this, because at the time of this, that was no longer a thing. Like, that was no longer a thing. We're looking at 800 people. I think he was like streaming to like 800 people by this time. Or what's up?
So what needs to be done, because I've noticed like people do a lot of deep dives on DSP, but somebody needs to deep dive the stories.
Yes, I do agree with that.
Agreed. I agree.
Because something happened during Truth Seekers that needs to be happened when it comes to Phil. He needs to be cut off.
Yeah.
By cut off, I mean when he starts going into these long ass stories that go nowhere, needs to be cut off. But the point I'm trying to make is, how many times have we told these stories that who needs to hear them again?
Yeah.
And they're all nothing but
times.
filler. They're all nothing but filler, to the point where you have to be like, hey, Phil, I need you to just answer the question. As much as he likes to think me telling these stories are related to whatever the answer is, 9 times out of 10, they never are.
Yep.
Like I said, it's just a filibuster. It's just a filibuster.
That's why I enjoyed about Truth Seekers, was when Phil started that diatribe, and he's like, no. And he moved on to the next thing.
Because you have to. And Phil be like, you cut me off. It's like, but Phil, you have to be cut off, because you've already shown a pattern of, if anybody tries to talk to you or ask you serious questions, you go off on a goddamn monologue that goes nowhere.
Nowhere.
You're trying to connect the dots for everyone else when they don't need you to connect anything. They just need a straight answer.
My personal favorite is
backstory. No, go ahead. I'm just saying, no, he does this thing thinking, oh, I'm giving you context, and you're not. You're confusing people on purpose.
Yeah.
My personal favorite is when Steve was going to videos. Phil was like, do we need to watch this? Like, do we have to watch this? Like, oh, so now you don't want to watch it. Oh, okay, Phil. So that pretty much confirmed. Well, I've already been news, but anybody that was like, well, maybe Phil's telling the truth, was like, okay, Phil, you're trying to hide something here. Why was you telling Steve to, skip over this? We don't need this. I don't care. Like, no, Phil, you hiding something.
Yeah, because he knows he's dishonest. Like I said, Steve called him out on it. Why do you cut out the begging? We've said it all the time. If you got nothing to hide, why you cutting out the begging? If the begging's not egregious, why you cut it out? If the begging's not intrusive, why'd you cut it out? If it's all these things you claim that you don't do, then there should be no reason for you to cut it out.
Yep. And he always cuts it out.
You always cut it out because you know it's obnoxious. You know it's egregious. You know you shouldn't be doing this.
My favorite is when he was playing Call of Duty and he banned that person for when he violated TOS about the easy money, and he cut that whole section out.
I got the clip of that. If you go to my channel, I got the clip of that.
Nice. He cut that whole section out.
I saved that shit. I got the clip of him doing the whole spiel. I even put up Easy Money's clip of his chat. Because remember, that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up, because DSP brought it up yesterday, how we don't want no one to see what our chat's saying, because we know our chat's a bunch of degenerates.
By the way, gentlemen, did you know that Phil has deleted all his neck response to Keemstar?
I'm not surprised.
Because I was watching Duty streams, and then I decided, let me look this up. Maybe Duty's, maybe he misread something. No, all those videos when Phil was talking about how, please stop watching Keemstar and stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's all gone. It's like, that's interesting. All of a sudden, now we're cool with Keemstar, when you kept saying, please stop watching Keemstar. Please stop watching Keemstar. It's like, oh, okay, Phil. Okay.
That's
Now knows
funny.
he now knows that messing with Keemstar is future earnings if he does it right. But he still doesn't want to work for Keemstar because he knows it'll actually be a job and he will be legally obligated to work.
Yep. And he don't want to do that. And the funny
You
thing
don't want to
was,
be legally obligated to work.
and the
That's
funny
all
thing
it is.
was,
People
is
say,
he
why
got to
never
work
took the
once a
money?
week.
Yeah, but why we never took the money is because it's a job. It's
Job,
an
yep.
actual job.
Exactly.
Meaning he has to answer somebody. He has to be there when told to be there.
Which
Yep.
he has to get up by a quarter in time.
He can't come here with bullshit excuses. He can't do nothing because he'd be under contracts.
Yep. And he don't want that. Doesn't want it at all.
He needs, like I said, everybody's figured it out. You didn't do it because to do it destroys the victim narrative, and we can't beg if we're no longer a victim. Like I said, it's hard to beg when someone just gave you a 50K check publicly. It's hard to beg if you just got a 50K payout.
Yep. And like I always like to bring him up. Look at Snorlax King, where he admitted I gave him a $200 tip that never was on stream. So we don't know how many times Phil has received these generous contributions that's never made it to the stream.
Yeah, it's been documented many times that money has come in that he did not announce, track, or anything. It just came in, it was gone, and he just pretended like it never happened. But it's been well documented. He's gotten money that has not been accounted for.
King Big Crow has mentioned that Phil has gotten money even off stream. And
Yeah.
there's another person that's a former, I'm forgetting their name, that mentioned that no, Phil does get money off stream.
Oh.
He doesn't like to count it because he wants to seem like he's this victim person.
He
Perfect.
is literally he as much as he'll try to sit there and go, guys, do I look destitute? You don't look destitute, but you cry destitute.
Exactly.
Okay?
Being
That's your
it and
problem.
crying
You
it are
sit
two
there all
different
day
things.
and go, well, the visuals don't scream out destitute, yes, but your gouty words do.
Exactly. What's up, Paul? Yeah, we going over the quartering. Imagine quartering
We
review
sitting there
this
talking about,
this
these
reason.
are all jokes. Okay, so again, this goes back to the thing of this is the stuff people need to do to Phil when they talk to him. Is they need to ask him. So you claim all these are jokes. You claimed all the stuff you've ever done and said was an act. So at what point am I talking to DSP or am I talking to Phil Burnell? Because I can't tell the difference between the two. So when are we playing and when are we real?
serious?
Because you'll sit here 1 minute and say that the begging and stuff is all for show, but then when I watch you and you don't have money, that begging seems pretty fucking real.
Exactly.
Dwight, you know what's funny? I'm glad
Like, I don't see nobody like when we're sitting there going, now guys, and this and that. I don't see nobody laughing, especially you, Phil.
Now guys,
I'm glad
I want to buy some fast
Go
food
ahead.
for my wife because we're supposed to cook tonight. I don't want her to come home and cook after a long day of work, but you do it all the other times. So what's the fucking difference now?
Yeah, but I like to know where the joke was, because he'll sit there after the fact and try to giggle it away when someone shows it to him, but it's like, I didn't see you laughing then, so was it really a joke? Because there was no punchline. Again, I'm a guy who loves his comedy, and my rule of thumb is your ass better be funny.
Yep.
You think you telling jokes here. And by be funny means you better crack a smile at your boy. And when I hear DSP do the begging, there is no comedy there because he's being dead serious.
Yep.
And Dwight, I'm glad you brought up about how you cannot tell between DSP and then Phil. I've been watching this motherfucker for almost 2 years. I've been making videos a year pretty much off because I had other stuff going with life stuff, whatever, blah blah blah. I looked at this, I'm like, okay, Phil, that is really you, because if this is a character, it would take too much energy to keep it up. It'll be more easier for you to be yourself. And this is really him, because 2 people have confirmed that when they spoke to him, it's mentally draining. Side scrollers and bro side both have confirmed that talking to Phil is mentally draining.
Yeah, because it
he's spending half
is.
his time, he's half in there trying to give you the presentation of a person he thinks you want to see. And it's like, nah, dude, you sitting here being fake. You're sitting here lying. You're sitting here obfuscating everything when it's like half the questions that were asked to you are literal yes or no. That's how I
Yeah.
Exactly.
know. That's how I know you're doing too much because the questions are yes or no questions, and you give a paragraph answer, not necessary. Just yes or no. Hey, do you do this? No. Are you this? Yes. I
Hell,
don't need, well, hey, let me tell you a story. And it's like the moment your ass says that, I would just be like, you don't need the story. Just answer the question.
question.
And he'll go,
Yes.
oh, but this is related to the question. I'm going to be like, I'm going to give you 5 seconds. If you start talking and it doesn't sound like it's related, I'm cutting your ass off.
Yep.
Exactly.
That was
It,
like that was
it's,
my issue with the side
it doesn't
scrollers.
sound related. If I hear you going off on a tangent about some 10-year-old shit, I am cutting you the fuck off and we are moving on. Exactly what Steven did, and he rightfully so did so.
Yep.
Because if not, he'd have sat there and wasted more time.
And that's what he wanted. He wanted to run out that clock. That's what DSP
He
wanted to
run
do.
the clock out. But the problem is, DSP fucked himself because his ego wouldn't let him leave.
Yep.
His ego wouldn't let him leave because he kept getting punched in the mouth. And we all know DSP got to think he needs to get the last word. So we went from, I got to leave, Cat's waiting for me, to staying a whole extra hour.
Yep. It's
A
like, no,
whole
you gotta
extra
go. Just
hour. The
leave.
nigga sit there, he literally, I was watching at the 2-hour mark. He's sitting there, I got to go. Cat's waiting for me. We stayed a whole extra hour because fucking Steven kept punching him in the mouth with
Yep.
evidence.
He got to the point, why are we showing this? Why are we still showing
Like he
this?
literally was trying to get out of the chair. Steve kept pushing him and slapping him out like, hey, take a look at this.
Yeah, it's like,
I
this is
gotta
your
go. Sit
shit.
back down. Take a look at this. But
And you
Cat's
know-
waiting for me. Sit back down. Take a look at this. And he couldn't leave.
And you know what's
He kept pushing him back down.
And you know what's funny about that? You talking about, oh, my fans don't care. They don't care. Okay, maybe on the YouTube side of things. His Kit Jack was asking like, Phil, why are you saying you don't care when you was acting like a complete asshole? Like you don't ask these questions. Like, what's up with that? And he was starting to ban some of those people that are asking these questions. Like, oh, so your fans don't care. But
here's the question
Go
that
ahead.
needs to be put out there, Vanguard. For anyone who ever had a chance to talk to Phil again, ask Phil, are the fans the ones who don't care, or is it the whales who don't care? Because again,
There's a
speaking
difference
as if
there.
you do not know what actually is in your community.
And remember, he has lost people behind this.
We all know
He
that's
has.
a lie. We've all read the chats. We know who the true dents are and who the LARPers are. And the LARPers outnumber the dents.
Yep.
exactly.
Well,
So
it's like,
for his fan history, that tells you enough. But him sitting there going, well, my fans didn't want it. My fans, was it your fans or was it your whales?
yeah.
The only ones that'll ever sit there and go, we don't care, are the dummies who give you money.
And wail out hard.
We all know the dummies who give you money is very finite. It's a palm full of dudes. Not even. At best, to be generous, I would say he's got like maybe 3 to 4 whales, if they're not even sock accounts on the other 2.
Yeah.
You ain't got nobody. Ain't no fans telling you nothing. No, ain't no real fans sitting there telling you that they don't care about this. The ones that are telling you that in chat are actual factual LARPers. And the ones that actually don't care are the ones that'll still give you money.
Yep.
Exactly.
And the thing is, when he
That's
got
it. The
exposed
ones who actually
before,
don't
he
care
lost fans
will
behind
still
that
give
shit.
you $1.
Like, during the side scrollers thing, when it came out and he admitted he still played champions, he lost fans. They sat there and said, I can't believe you lied to me for all these years. And they dipped. He has had whales dip because of the shit he's done.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And the couple whales that still think they're being a part of something are the ones that stick around. The OICs, the Ryans, whoever they are. Like I said, I feel like whoever they are, it's like 1 or 2 people with a bunch of fucking socks. And when they don't feel like giving out the sock name, then we just getting a bunch of generous Anani tips.
Yep. It happens all the time.
And like I said, that's the same people, because like I keep saying, if anything DSP has ever said was even remotely true, his ass would be in a better place.
Yeah, he would.
Financially, mentally, reputation-wise, everything would be in a better place if anything that dude said was remotely true.
Yep. Like, and
Like I said, if we're the bad guys here, then you should have people that would come into your defense because we are the bad guys. But we're not the bad guys. We're just people out here trying to keep you honest.
Yep.
No,
Oh,
Dwight. No,
speaking of
Dwight.
that, not to cut you off real
Go
quick.
ahead.
You know how
Go ahead.
Phil has had, we have now counted 3 to 4 incidences where people caught him with his dick out, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Guess who also got caught? I mean, it was an accident, and he's still very popular. You know him.
Ooh, I show meat.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
And guess what,
I mean,
though?
he's not wrong. He did whip his dick out.
Yeah.
He did. He did.
It fell out his pants, but guess what? There's no meme about it. It was for a while, and the shit moved on. And what is he doing? Still making that bread. Still
He
going
was in
across the
Jersey,
world.
definitely. He definitely was.
WWE vets to get run over. Hey, he getting that money.
Yeah. So that's why I laugh when Phil's like, "Oh, this happened so many years." It's like it don't matter. It still happened. But Phil, we have other people that the exact same thing has happened, and they're fine. How come you're not fine?
They didn't let their ego take over for their damage control. And like I said, his ego took over because he can't be the butt of the joke. He cannot laugh at himself. He cannot do anything that hurts his name. So
Exactly.
like I said, we sat there and tried to die on a stupid hill. When enough people were like, "Come on, Phil, no one's dumb here. You weren't scratching no legs.
No damn
Let's stop
leg.
it. Let's be real." Like I said, he's still embarrassed about it to this day. Remember,
Yep.
Cat cries about it.
Yeah,
when
cat
people
cries
talk about it.
downstairs.
But then all of a sudden, we're okay with it. Like you're never okay with it, Phil, because at the end of the day, you know, and we know, you're the butt of the joke.
Exactly.
You are the.
So I
like
don't
I said, I was talking to one of my peoples a couple weeks ago, like who does collecting, and he found my Dwight Race channel, and he was like, "I didn't know you do shit like this," and I was like, "Yeah, you know, a little side thing." And he was like, "I know a little bit about locales," and when I brought up DSP, first thing out of his mouth is the guy who jerked off.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. Exactly.
Dude,
That is his legacy. Even
Yeah.
if people don't know him, they know him.
dude,
The guy who jerked off.
there is a guy I work with. He knows DSP. He caught me watching, I think it was either King Jed or WPIG. And his first words was, "Hey, the dude that jerked off is still streaming?" God
Yeah,
damn.
that's your. Like I said, I don't know why he's been fighting for 16 years to try to reshape his image in front of the factors. When it's like, dude, you will forever be known as the guy who jerked off, and the only reason that it exists that way is because you went out of your way to try to silence people who brought it up.
What's up
You
with
know
the
what's
hell?
funny? I'm glad.
You bro, he breathes life into it. Because, like I said, it probably would have died out like everything dies out on the internet. But because you went out of your way to try to convince people what the narrative was, you made it stronger.
So that lovely voice you hear is Dwight Race. It's an amazing
funny,
member
I-
of the channel. The deep
Go ahead,
voice. You got a fan, Dwight. You have a fan. What the hell, sing
You do.
98. He's a fan of your voice, man.
Everybody loves the white race.
You know what's funny? I'm glad you said it because I was at work, the same job at, and the funny thing is, I was going to take a break. I went into the cafeteria, and I had my headphones. I was going to say, okay, what the Phil was talking about this time. I forgot I didn't have my headphones turned on my phone. You know how you have
Yeah.
the Bluetooth on off. So I went to my headphones in. I was like, why is it not working? All of a sudden, Phil's playing it back. I was like, oh shit. So then one security people passed by, and they're like, okay. It's like, wait, is that? He was like, wait, that voice. It's like, is that the dude that jerked off? I'm like, yeah. He's like, he's still streaming this very day.
Yeah. Dude, it's so bad that people in the Final Fantasy 14 community know about Phil. Like, one person posted this
Yes,
picture, and they're like, this guy's still
That's
there?
his legacy. That's his
Yeah.
legacy. And he made it. He made it by being such an egotistical asshole and trying to bully people into thinking differently. It's like, bro, if you'd have just accepted it, if you'd have just laughed with it, eventually it'll fade away. Sure, people would still bring it up, but it wouldn't be so vitriolic towards you when they did.
Yeah.
Like nowadays,
Exactly.
if anybody brings it up to you, it's not going to be in a haha, let's laugh together way, Phil. It's always going to be you that dude that jerked off.
And that's your
Saying it's
whole
gonna be
fucking
thrown in
legacy.
It's going to be thrown in your face. It's not going to be a thing of haha. No, they're going to always throw it in your face because you went out of your way to try to act like you did it.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. Yeah. And it's never going away. Never. And
Never
he
going
solidified
away.
that.
Is your legacy.
It's like he solidified that. What's up, man?
On a nice stream at 4 p.m. That's surprising.
I know, right?
It's like your boy is saying, it's the guy.
The guy watching his Twitch.
It's the guy. Nothing he could do about it. He could sit here for another 16 years and do all this nonsense. He's always gonna be the guy. He's always
The
gonna
guy.
be the
Yep.
guy.
Like, and it's
That
always you
eats
always
him
hear
up
the same
inside, too.
thing.
You know that eats him up, Ice. That's
Oh, hell
why
yeah.
we look the way we look now, because it's been eating him since May 1st. when
And he
it did
can't
it.
control the narrative. And it's still funny though. It's still funny that he got busted at the Street Fighter get together. They busted him in the motel room or a friend's room, whoever's room, spanking the monkey. He got busted again with the uploaded YouTube video, and then the flapping. And there's apparently another incident he did it. So this dude 3 or 4 times.
There's like a audio. There's audio allegedly that it might be him on the jerk, but like it can't be confirmed or denied. But there is a clip. It's got some audio, and it sounds like your boy's over there getting the grunt. And it's just like, I don't know, but you know what? We don't even need that because we got visual evidence.
We
So
got
that one is kind of
two
like-
visuals.
That one's
We
a
got
little
plenty.
that one's a little inadmissible in court, but this one dead to rights.
Yeah.
We got
That's
plenty
okay.
of evidence on him that even they would have bring that in court. It's like we got plenty. We don't even need that.
Yeah, just put that back in your pocket. Put that back. In your
Yeah.
And then we got
Yeah.
we still got the Didn't See Scrolls one where he was a SRK where people were talking about him jerking it in the room.
Oh, yeah,
So
we
I
got all the affidavits. We got all the affidavits. We got the video. That last clip inadmissible. We good.
we're good. Yeah. So it's just like,
Prosecution
dude.
got prosecution's got enough. Got enough.
Want to like ever say that in my life I would quit doing this
I mean,
outright,
Dave
but it's
was
pretty
showing himself and
pretty
anything
unrealistic
way
to
in the
expect that
country.
you could ever do this your whole
Yeah.
life.
It was a
You know,
snow
that's
day. It's
insane.
snowing outside.
This is
so I
gonna
didn't
just
go
like everything
out.
else. It's gonna get fade out. It's gonna become
Yeah.
played out.
The
It's
should
gonna
have
get the
stayed
big
home.
thing. And even in the 10 years,
Oh,
11 years
shit.
now that I've done this, you know, I went from being a guy who recorded with a camera, not even like live.
And so like right here, like we were just saying earlier, like the court should just shut this down and be like, yeah, we do know your history, but that's not the question. My question was, what are your plans after streaming when you're done with streaming?
Mhm.
I
We're
don't need you to explain me. I don't need you to explain to me how cameras work. I'm using one right now, Phil. I don't need you to explain it to me.
exactly.
We're all on a camera. I don't need you to sit there and go by the fine details
Actually,
of
what I
how
should
you
do.
set up a stream.
Sorry,
Guess
chat.
what?
Let me do
We're on a
this.
stream right now, Phil. I don't need you to explain it to me. Like that's the parts that need to get cut off. Because
Yeah.
you're sitting here explaining something as if nobody has knowledge on how to do this. I don't need you to teach me, Phil. Just answer the question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all you
I'm
need to
telling you.
do. What's up?
Dave,
Listen to
Dave,
what he's saying. He's talking about something as if you have no knowledge of how
Yeah.
this shit works.
We're
Dave
back to
cannot
another.
control himself.
Oh no, he can't. Let's hear it
It's
again.
going to become
Yep.
played out. This will be the next new big thing. And even in the 10 years,
Wait, actually, let's go to the original question.
That bubbles that I've never right. You had to be with someone to monetize anything real time on a gameplay video. And that's what I was known for. Doing this,
off.
for taking more money, making like so much more money. It's on YouTube. Audience that cares about
So,
anything about
We can't
people
even.
on my
I can't even
YouTube. So
find
that-
any more, and I'm not
what is-
looking.
This is
The,
gonna
the
just in the
original
10 years,
question
11
of
years.
this was, what are you going to do after streaming? And there's no answer.
Now that I've done this, you know, I went from being a guy who actual camera, a digital camera that I pointed at my TV and was recording videos with a memory card, you know,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do gameplay. And then I went to direct capture to live streaming. Then I basically gave up on YouTube 2.5 years ago, and I'm mostly a primary live streamer now. I've evolved and changed so much over the last 11 years. Who knows what it's going to be in the next 2-3 years?
I've evolved and I've changed because we've heard this before.
For all the time. This is nothing new.
Every time anyone asks him anything, he'll give you the I used to be staunch and I didn't do this, and then I moved to direct capture, and then like things change. Like we give this diatribe to everyone. For every question, for every fucking question, we get this diatribe. Hey, what do you plan on doing in 5 years? Well, I don't know, man. And listen, direct capture when I was back in the days when I was making tons of money. Like, what's that got to do with what I asked right now?
Yeah, I asked you a question now.
Gentlemen, let me use this. Let me use this for example. Hey, Marin, you still there?
Might not
Marin?
be.
Okay. Oh, better yet. Okay, he's not there.
Hi, Ian, what's up?
Okay, Marin, let me ask you this one question. Who is your favorite NFL team?
I don't know what NFL, so I wouldn't tell you.
Who's your favorite soccer team?
Who's your favorite soccer team?
No, but that's an answer, though.
Yeah, that is an answer.
He didn't give you a whole backstory. He didn't give you a backstory of why he don't watch football.
Exactly. Thank you.
He just said, hey, I don't watch it.
Thank you. That's all she's getting at. He gave me an answer, a simple answer, not a paragraph, a simple answer. That's all we want, Phil. A simple answer.
Oh, you mean football? Sorry, I think you meant the
football.
No, Cowboys. Cowboys.
Question the best you could. You didn't have to go into a long-winded speech and give us a reason why you prefer soccer over football. You didn't do none of that. DSP, if you'd asked that same question, he'd have gave you a whole story about how we came to not liking football. When that wasn't the question.
I'll take the mentor roulette for archive Mount Farm.
I'm a soccer guy.
You did fine, man. You did fine.
Yeah, but still, you just gave a quick answer. You gave a quick answer to Phil.
I would say like Cowboys, but my main thing is soccer.
Okay, I should have said that, but it's a good answer. You did a great job, man. You did a great job.
Yeah,
YouTube still be how it is. Will Twitch change? Will Mixer become the next big thing? Who knows what's going to happen? We don't know. And you can't rely on that. You can't rely on that.
Like I think Jeremy forgot what the original question he asked was at this point.
To be steady income, it just sucks that I've kind of.
He does that on purpose.
Yeah, so you forget. I mean,
just look at his eyes. He's trying to come up with something.
Two things when it comes to talking to DSP, you concede because you've now forgotten what the initial discussion was, or you're just kind of confused because he's talked you into circles with so much useless information that you're now sitting there trying to process how is this related to what the fuck I asked, even if you can remember what you asked.
Yeah, like this has nothing to do with the question.
This is why he has to be cut off, because this is part of the plan. Each time it confuses you, and then you eventually just concede because it's like, you know what? All that information, and I still got no answer.
Yeah.
That's how you end up conceding, because it's like, okay, all that information, and you still give me no answer, so let's move on. Like I said, if they didn't concede, they'd just be confused.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's only two choices with DSP. You're going to concede because the information gave you nothing, or you're just going to be confused because the information is all over the place and you can't process it.
And then he got a dose of that medicine with fucking Steve.
And
Steve
then, like
just kept
I said,
cutting his
do a
ass
lot
off.
and then on top of that, he's sitting there gaslighting and all this other, trying to convince you that it wasn't me, it was everybody else. Hey, don't be, the only reason they know Derek's a pedophile is because they went out of their way to research he was a pedophile. But why'd they have to do that? Like, are they gonna research other fucking members in my chat? Well, if they're pedophiles, yes.
Yeah, they're
why
going
are you
to
mad about that? Like,
you should be happy.
Why are you mad about that?
You got people outside of you policing your chat and telling you got problem people that need to be gotten rid of.
Yeah, and you sit there like, I'm not gonna do nothing because I didn't see nothing. Okay, well I guess that's the same logic we use for Tyrone when he shows up, huh?
Yep, when he's in there just pounding cat's meat.
Yeah.
I've now gotten myself into a shitty situation.
Clapping her cheeks.
Exactly.
Clapping cat's cheeks.
While you hear that shit.
I didn't hear nothing.
Like, my God.
Where I'm stuck doing what I'm doing, but my goal is that within, say, 5 years, I can get myself out of
I didn't
any
look
kind of
at T
financial
when I
pressures
shot him. I
outside
didn't shoot T.
I didn't shoot T because I didn't look at him. God damn it.
of the realm of me having fun on stream and say, okay, I still want to stream, but I want to have a solid job, a steady job outside of that I
Yeah.
can do daytime, and then maybe I come home and stream 2-3 hours a night, a few days a week, and I split my time between them because I know I'm always going to have that following. Like you said, I've got longevity. I've been here 11 years, and we're always going to have some people who are interested.
Phil, longevity
Good God.
doesn't equate to people responding favorably to you. Just because you're on the platform for now 16 years doesn't mean people like you. Like, dude, there's people that don't like detractors in the detractor sphere. Doesn't mean they did anything wrong. People are people. But you don't hear people fucking raising the highest stink about it. Oh, okay, I don't care for Ice, so I'm not gonna watch him. Okay, done. They watch someone else. You over here, oh, I got longevity because I've been here.
Listen. I always say, like, listen, my content at the end of the day, it has to be entertaining to me first, and then be entertaining to others. Because I feel like if I laugh at my own shit, sure that's kind of an ego thing. If I laugh at my own shit genuinely, then that means okay. If I find it funny, probably others might find it funny too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm all about comedic timing, so that's why, like, when I put content out there, it's like I gotta find it. If I can't sit through my own shit, then no one else is gonna sit through my own shit. Put it like that. Like, if you don't
it's true. It's true.
Entertaining, no one else will either.
Think about Phil.
Well,
when he
that's
did...
the thing too. Not
Oh.
every. Sorry, guys. Not everything has to be everyone to be liked. It's internet in real life. People
Yeah.
won't like you.
I'm not
If they
saying
move on.
it's a guarantee that it's gonna be liked. Like I say, I make wrestling content. Not everybody's into wrestling, so it's not. It's a very niche audience. But at least if it's entertaining enough, the ones who do like wrestling will stick around. They'll come back.
I mean, look at Phil. He couldn't watch his own content.
I'm trying to cater to everyone. I know my shit is niche.
Yeah.
I know my shit is niche. Like, I do toy stuff. That shit is niche.
That's very niche. It's like the guys that do comics.
It's entertaining enough for those who like toys. It ain't gonna be for everyone, but I know if you into toys, you might stick around for a little longer. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, but think about it. When Phil was doing those, oh, guys, we hit the reward. We're gonna go back in time and watch my old content, and Phil's like, yeah, I can't watch this.
Yeah, he can't even.
So if you can't,
because it's trash.
Yeah, if you can't stomach your own shit, then how are you expecting people to stomach your shit? Like that's a question.
At the end of the day, your shit's got to be entertaining to you first, and it'll be entertaining to others.
Gentlemen, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up?
No, what are you about to say?
I'm sorry. I know we've been on this video for a minute, but there is something in the background that is bugging the fuck out of me. What the fuck is this on the far right that's on top of this thing? If you go up his mic, there's something that has just been bugging me. I'm trying to figure out, is that a mini tower or something? This black thing in the background?
Oh, that black
tower
box?
Boxes. It's an actual tower of boxes.
That's the box.
Okay, that's what it is. I'm like, what the fuck is that in the background?
It's a PlayStation, it's an Xbox, and a couple other boxes, but it's a bunch of boxes stacked. There's a pillow on the floor. It's just a bunch of boxes.
It's just a junky ass room.
Yep, it's a junky room. It's still like that.
Bugging me.
Yeah, it's still like that now.
If I stream at 1 hour a week, people come out to see what I'm doing.
Fun
you know
fact,
what I mean?
I don't know if y'all know this. This is why I say somebody needs to call the TVA, prune him or Kimberly. This room is about the same size as Kimberly's room.
Yeah, but the only difference is he doesn't have a twin size bed with Grogu on it.
He doesn't, but he pretty much lives. But he pretty much lives in there.
Oh yeah, he does. He does.
Just like
really
Kimberly.
Does.
Just like Kimberly.
That's why when he sits there and says, "I like to spend time with my wife," it's like, okay, then why don't you?
Bad boy, it's small part of the DC goes.
Got two DSPs in the same timeline.
It can't exist. It's a paradox. Somebody gotta fucking go.
Yeah, like it's like Earth 616 combined with Earth 2010.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
It's like a multiverse. It's
coming. We about to go to Battle World. These two dudes are not supposed to be on the same timeline. Either one of them got to go,
Then
or both of them
Crush.
got to go. But this is the anomaly, son.
Exactly.
You got the original and a variant, and I don't even know who the original is anymore.
I lost that a long time
Then
ago.
Crush and Strawberry
Let's
Gang.
say,
I don't know which one is the variant.
The
I can't
fort
really
box fort
OTG
dude.
OTG
What's up,
split
Fangram?
off to be his own thing. So it's like, okay, we don't got to prune LTG, not yet.
No, he can
DSP.
stay a little bit longer. Even though
Moment
he
he
is
brought
a deadbeat.
That holy underwear, I was like, I'm done.
Yes.
They were
Yes.
both asking for underwear. When they were both asking for underwear, I was like, no. No.
Snorting.
One of y'all got to go.
Don't
Well,
forget the
you know-
snorting.
well, you know what?
Oh,
You know,
snorting? Yeah, he's over there snorting now?
yes.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Wait, really
Scott was snorting.
It
Who?
really snorts.
Oh,
yeah,
my
he
gosh,
he-
Scott
he
fucking
does.
snorts
Yeah.
now. Jesus Christ.
Snorting. That's a couple of frames.
Somebody got to go.
Yeah, this is
Well,
now no. This is too much. We got
well,
the white
Well, the
DSP and the tan, the light.
And light-skinned
Skin
DSP,
DSP.
running around.
They,
wasn't happy.
no, they gotta go.
Well,
they gotta go.
I'll tell you this much. I'll tell you much, Dwight. We could replace Wonder with RTO since he's no longer working for Local Live since he got fired.
That's still fun. That's
yes,
still
he
funny.
got fired.
I'm gonna have to watch and catch up to that because goddamn, why is it why is it on the chair
Don't
anyway?
trust. No.
I don't
Don't
know.
trust Local.
That's why everything in the
Fuck,
world is going to hell right now. Because we got two variants do not belong on the one timeline. It's breaking
Yo,
up the
Benga,
fabric of
do not touch
reality.
anything.
It is
I don't
literally
just say they
breaking
were
the
saying,
fabric
but
of
still, though, we'll
reality.
wait.
Yeah, the fabric is
Don't touch
flux
any-
right
don't
now.
touch Local Live.
We gotta.
Stars notes, scripts and stuff.
I vote for
know,
both of them
I
being
know.
X'd out of the timeline.
Not a lot of people in Florida there, so you know,
Like I said,
to get
take
far
one
from
or take both,
Local
it
Live.
doesn't matter. They're both anomalies, so we don't
Yeah.
know for sure. Take them both.
Yo,
That
take
is
them
a
way.
both out.
Do this full
Send them
time,
both
full
to the
time. I
void.
have to do something
Let
different. I
the
know.
life handle
Yeah,
them and be done with
so a
it.
lot of people ask questions
Yes.
like, you know, people would ask me this too.
Also, the
and I know
burping to
how
the
I would
mic.
answer, but they're like,
Kimberly has
you know,
been burping to the
would you
mic
even
for the last
stri-
couple of streams as well.
Oh, God.
He is Phil. He is all he's got to do is crank it on stream, and we're full circle.
If you couldn't make money,
You know what? No,
you
go
know,
ahead.
would you still
Put that out
stream?
there.
And it sounds like you
Don't put that out there.
I don't want to, but we're getting damn close.
I mean,
It's gonna
we
happen.
already showed pornography, so.
That is true.
Guys,
That
you
is
know what I
true.
said last
And
night.
don't forget, DSP also recently showed pornography. Remember?
Oh yeah, the two dudes. Yeah, that's right. And
Oh,
paused it on
yeah.
that screen and left it there. Like
That's what I
man,
said. One of these dudes do not belong in this timeline.
man,
They're
TVA
following
needs to
each
do their
other's
job.
footsteps. They're following in each other's footsteps. They don't even know each other.
Well, one
There
knows.
must always be a Lich King.
One knows the other, but he doesn't know him like that because he doesn't. He has never. Listen, Kimberly has never fully watched DSP to understand what he is. He just understands that he is being referred to him as such,
And he hates it.
and he hates it because he recognizes that clearly if they're making me out to be him, something ain't right. He's too afraid to see what actually DSP is. That's why we just what did he rug pull y'all? What did he rug pull y'all? That's all he can say.
Yep.
He's afraid to actually see what it is DSP is because he already knows what we're calling him.
Yeah, he's afraid to
Also-
find out that
also-
truth.
Also, by the way, Kimberly,
That's
if you are in this chat, fuck you.
And Kimberly's
No,
doing-
just double checking.
Kimberly's probably sitting in the parking lot, not DoorDash.
Probably, or thinking of he's probably cranking it while delivering someone's meal.
that basically like, well, sure.
No, Kimberly's
Remember, he's admitted to
Kimberly's
that.
probably doing some more stuff.
Oh, there is a university, Dwight, and it is called Goon University.
Oh, jeez.
Goon you? I love Goon you.
Yeah, there is a Goon
No.
I saw that shit. I was done. I was like, no, Goon you.
Going to Goon you, man. Listen, I know a lot of cats on the internet that's trying to get accepted to Goon you. All right.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta tell
Dwight,
Dwight when I see him, Goon you.
The white
The
got
best and the
Kimberly
brightest
graduated
goons
from
are gonna be
Queensview.
here, okay?
But wait,
Yeah.
before we continue, gentlemen, before we continue, Marin, one question.
What?
How
What?
was that beautiful, beautiful fat woman you had over the weekend?
Oh God.
You're lucky I'm at work. You're so lucky I'm doing my
But
land down.
you know, I've got to pay my bills first.
Right, it'd be way less. I would have obviously have a job that would be my main focus, but I would love to do this like I
You're
used to
lucky
do
I'm on my damn
YouTube
lunch break
as
right
a
now.
2-hour hobby a night. Right from home, and I'm able to do a little bit of streaming. The difference now is I can actually make money on that 2-hour stream every night. When back then I was
So,
just doing it
does
for
Goon have a
a
football
hobby. I
team or
wasn't
an athletic team? Like, do they have the Gooners?
I don't know. All I know is someone
Give it
was
up
sitting there
for the
saying.
Gooners. That's the name of the team. The
All I know is
Gooners.
somebody was sitting there congratulating themselves because they graduated from Goon University, and I was just like, no.
Did you have a varsity jacket? You know, I'm a Gooner alumni.
The white Kimberly graduated from Gooner University.
And Kimberly graduated from the Vry, okay?
The fry. Oh God.
Oh,
Right,
God.
or anything.
All she had to do was
For
walk
2.5
in.
years,
All
I was
she had to do
uploading
was walk in
gameplay
and
videos
she
to
got
YouTube
accepted.
before I ever made a
Welcome to the
dime
Vry.
doing anything.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Vry.
Was there ever a point because I'm not like
All right,
a
here's a
expert
question.
on your
Here's the next question.
on your career? Was there ever a point where you were making any reasonable money on YouTube, or were you always kind of just using that as like kind of a dumping ground for your stream videos?
All right, so right here, either the Quartering is a fucking idiot, or he's trying to play ball to get something out of Phil. Everyone, everyone knows.
Confirmed he played ball.
Yeah,
Mr.
but
Gundam has already confirmed
yeah, he did
played
that.
ball.
But I'm saying it with this question because everyone knows anyone previously before the ad apocalypse was making damn good money, more money than they should have been making. So him asking this question, I feel like is just dumb. Like even playing ball, this is a dumb question.
I'll say this much: it's borderline between playing ball and being a dumbass. It's very.
There sounds like a natural. Yes.
Where the quarter pounder isn't necessarily enough to be smart.
Well, the thing with the whole thing with this interview was he talked. It's a Gundam talked to him after this, and he told It's a Gundam that he sat there and told him there was a lot of things he couldn't ask. Yeah, that's right, he did. And even It's a Gundam said, "Why did you even bother doing the interview then? Like there was no point to doing this interview." And
Yeah,
this is when Quartering jumped in with LawTube, Yellow Flash, that Umbrella guy, Ricada, all of them. He jumped in with them to get away from this. This dude jumped into a whole new spectrum to get away from one shitty interview. Just let that sink in.
Not only that,
He rather had jumped into a pit full of vipers to deal with fucking detractors.
Yeah, let that sink in. That
only-
most people. Oh, go ahead, Marin. I'm sorry.
not only
Go ahead, man.
that, I guess, right? But not only that, but there was no. If the dude, right? Let's have you, right? And you're telling me
You're right,
this, and this.
You will, Marin. You on Cybertron right now. That connection is mad Cybertronian.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Weep, Grana, weep, Ninny Bomb.
Okay. Okay. Listen, I'm gonna interview, right? And
Mhm.
you're asking me if I can ask you questions. Like I get personal questions, but if you're begging for money, right? And you're telling me I cannot ask you for money or ask you where is money going to, I'm not doing no damn interview because you're begging for money. I would get it if like it was personal questions, but at that point, just literally begging for money. So well, point of interviewing you because that would be boring.
I don't even think he was
There
asking
you
for
go.
money at this point, but I'm talking for the interview. I'm talking about strictly for the interview. But if I got a list
No,
of
I mean,
things
like
I can't ask, I'm not even gonna bother doing the interview. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm out.
No,
Like
I
this-
meant like how Dave normally begs.
Yeah. But I'm
Because
just,
you know, yeah, like if I can ask you where the money is going from, you're begging. I'm gonna definitely ask that because you're begging for money. Where all this money you're making going to? You're
Yeah.
making more than most
Get what
people
you're
make
saying,
that
Marin.
year.
You're saying you're begging for money. there's no receipts of like money being spent on anything other than trash.
Yeah, and I mean, which he was more than happy to show
Like I
off.
said, like we like the begging, like we begged for the house, we begged for the taxes, we begged for all those things that money did not go to those things.
Yeah,
Remember when we begged for a broken shower
they're still broken.
and it's still broken, and
Oh,
when
yeah.
asked
Oh,
did
the
the money
thing.
fix the
Yeah,
shower,
whatever.
remember what we told the dude who asked about it, like the next day, and he got banned.
Yep.
Shut the fuck up about that. Don't be talking about that.
Because if I remember correctly, OIC gave him a grand that night to get the shower fixed the next day.
Not even OIC, but other people. The Brick
Yeah.
Boy.
Brick
smokes
Boy.
crack.
All them dudes were sitting there giving him money to get that shower fixed. He raised like because
And the next day,
OIC
someone
dropped a
asked,
grand.
"Hey,
Who's that one person that went bankrupt twice for Phil? Or was it 3
Timbo
times?
Slice.
Timbo Slice. There you go.
the man, he wants to claim that didn't happen." It's like, bro, it's documented, son. It's
Yeah.
documented.
Like
Man
we
came
know.
out himself. The man himself came out and said that shit. And like I said, he was one of your top pay pigs. Like, you can't even sit here and pretend like he wasn't. So if he's sitting there giving you all this money and telling you at the same time, I'm bankrupt 3 times, like, you not see the correlation? Sure, I'm pretty sure there was other poor spending in his life, but
Yep.
you were part of that poor spending, Phil.
And you stayed the
Exactly.
majority of that poor
You're
spending.
part of the poor spending. Even if he can sit there and say, well, Timbo spent money on drugs, Timbo spent money on alcohol, Timbo spent money on gambling, and that's why we went bankrupt. You are also on that list of why he went bankrupt.
Yep. He bought
He
a
sit there and
Corvette he
gave
shouldn't
you
have bought.
this money that he didn't need to be given to you. Same way he didn't need to give it to the drug dealer. Same way he didn't need to give it to the booze. Same way he didn't need to give it to gambling or prostitute or whatever vice this guy had. You were a vice.
Yep. And you
were
did
a
not
vice.
stop
So
it.
as much as you want to sit there and pretend like you didn't contribute to this man's degradation, you did.
Yep.
It did.
And just because you don't want to see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. It did.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We can sit here and pretend all day and be like, I'm not responsible, but you are tangentially, you are. You are a part of his problem. Whatever problem he had with handling money, you were a part of it. And you
Yep.
did exacerbate it because you sit there and you begged for it. You trip, you guilt trip, you gaslit, you manipulate.
And still
Clearly,
do it today.
he's not in the right mind to be handling money because clearly he was making poor choices with it. And
Yep.
you were one of those poor choices.
And he still is. I mean, he's not giving him money now, but Phil is
Anyone
still a
that
bad
gives
choice
him
for
money-
anyone.
Anyone that gives him money is making a
I got
bad
you.
investment because there is no real return on this.
There's none. Zero.
No
I got-
entertainment
I got
value.
Zeb.
Like I said, the only entertainment value on DSP is the laughing at him part. The
Yeah.
rest of it, but even that part is hard to bear. It's hard to bear.
All right, I'm gonna get back to work. Have fun.
All right, Marin. Take care, man.
But like he's hard to bear. Like, the jokes ain't funny. He's not witty. He's not clever. He's barely charming. He sure shit ain't attractive. So he's got
Nope.
no qualities going for him.
Not a single one.
Other
Jen
than
is
being a
stupid
beggar.
wrestling.
Being a
Jewel
beggar
game.
and being a liar. Being a beggar and a liar. Those are the only qualities he has. A beggar and a
And-
liar.
And not just being a beggar and a liar, but being a 220 and a cold gray.
He's all those things. He's a 220. He's everything. But it's just like, and he's not even good at those. He's not even good at the lying. He's not even good at the begging.
No.
Remember, like I said,
Doesn't even try to.
June the King told him to his face when he interviewed him. He told him, "You are a habitual liar with no credibility. You have lied so much that no one believes what you say." And even in the goddamn documentary, he turned around and said, I asked him about the money, and he went through a diatribe just to say, I misspoke. Like, come on, Phil. Like, this is supposed to be your boy, June the King, and he's in there saying, yeah, you're just a liar.
See, but that's the other part. That's like I said, where Steve did it a little bit better. People talk to Phil and still give him humanity. You can't anymore. You really can't. Can't give him humanity. You have to treat him like the dog he is. Treat a liar like
Yep.
a liar. Treat
Yep.
a liar like a liar. That's like people gave Steven shit for how he conducted. I'm like, listen, I think he conducted himself the way you're supposed to handle people like Phil. If you see someone feeding you shit, stop them and tell them, hey, stop feeding me shit.
Yep.
Don't sit there and keep letting him spoon feed you. Wasting everybody's time here, resources and everything. Hey, stop feeding me shit. I can tell. I can taste it.
And
like
remember, this was
Stop feeding
Truth
this to me.
Seekers. I said it last night when I was playing Warhammer. You went on a show called Truth Seekers, and you expected him to give you a softball interview?
Yeah, you mad because you out here? You mad because he's tired of you sitting there lying to him?
Yeah.
And he said to your face, you're lying.
Yeah, like he's like, I'm tired of you sitting here lying to me. Like the thing side scrollers should have done to him, the thing
Yep.
everybody should do to him when he's talking is like, you're sitting here telling me stuff that I inherently know is not true.
Like, let's just stop
And you're
that
gonna
shit
keep
right
lying
now.
to me as if I'm a dummy. And like, no, I'm not gonna sit here and listen to someone lie to me. I'm gonna stop you right there, and either we're gonna have a real conversation or we're gonna have none at all.
Exactly.
That's it. And people keep saying, well, then you're gonna lose it. I don't care. Him leaving is more of a mission of guilt than anything. Because if
Yep.
he can't sit there and defend himself, then what good is he?
And plus, we were having
Especially-
a video. Go ahead.
If he can't defend himself, why should someone else?
Yeah. He should be able to
Why
defend
should
himself
anybody put
first.
their neck on the line for this dude if he can't stand on his own fucking business?
Plus, he's been given many chances of trying to be normal, and he always squanders it. So it's like, nah, enough trying to be normal with this motherfucker. We're going to treat him how he is. He wants to be able. Exactly.
Yeah, and he's already said it that it's easier to lie than tell the truth.
Yeah.
When it's
Y'all
the
still out here
opposite.
giving this dude humanity. Y'all still treat him like a regular person. That's why I was like, yo, stop. I give this dude too much courtesy. I give this dude way too much mercy. Where it's like me, punch him in the mouth immediately. The moment
Yep.
he comes sideways, like, hey, let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. Because I'm not about to sit here and listen to a 10-minute lie. You're already lying to me.
Just like when he's
You
like,
can sit
oh,
there and
I got to
skirt
tell
and
you
backpedal,
about the identity
but-
theft
and that's
before I
when
go
he
into the
was asking for
bankruptcy.
receipts.
Well, Dwight, I got to tell you about the identity theft before we go into these bank leaks. No, you don't. Tell me about the bank leaks. That's it. I don't need any fucking thing else leading up to it.
Yeah, did I say anything about identity theft? Like, and you telling me something? I'm bringing it to your attention. That means I probably have knowledge because I looked into this. I don't need you to now try to explain it to me. Either give me an answer or just admit you sat here and you lied. But don't sit
Yep.
here and try to now feed me bullshit for 10 minutes and hope I get confused enough not to remember. Like, bro,
Nah,
enough
fuck
of
that.
that bullshit.
Like, fuck that.
Oh no, dude! I was a full-time YouTuber from year 2011 to 2017, early
Okay.
2017. So you're talking 6 straight years. My 95% of my income was on YouTube ad revenue.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
okay.
It was that big. Like my channel was that popular at one point. And the thing is, I had a formula that I had figured out that was like the sweet spot for making money with ads on YouTube. That if you had
Yeah.
a certain length of your video, a certain amount of ads on each video, that you could like make a good amount of money just doing straight playthroughs. You know, I didn't have to do these long edited videos like people were doing. I could just upload parts of a video game playthrough, and I was making really good money doing it.
Yeah.
But then when that adpocalypse happened in early 2017, that all changed. Like overnight, I made 50% less money, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like I
Yeah.
can't do this."
Again, so you're telling me what making 50% less, so half of 20 grand is 10 grand. Half of 15 grand is like is 7.5 thousand. You're telling me you could not survive off of $7,500. So just let that sink in. That Phil wants.
Listen, only people I know who can't live on that, they sniffing coke. Okay?
Yeah, man, their nose is constantly
They're
white.
doing
It's
drugs.
forever white. He's Low Taper Fate by Riz Records. Listen, okay, definitely Liquid Carl. Thank you. Yeah, so I mean, just and then 20 grand is 10. So you're telling me you can't survive off of 10 grand? If I'm able, let me rephrase that. If the majority of America is able to survive off of, if we go by every 2 weeks for a pay period, if people are able to survive off of $2,200 or $1,500 or $1,700 or $3,000, I know damn well you can survive off of 10 grand. I know damn well you can survive off of $7,500. If you can't, you are mismanaging your money like a motherfucker. You got one hell of an addiction, as we know, WWE champions, but you have an addiction that you refuse to get help with, and you have no money.
So that's when I adopted.
Thank you.
And that's what I've been doing for the past 2.5 years.
Yeah, that happened to a lot of us too. Even I felt it through several. I used to have a channel where it was just magic. Sorry, I'm just getting over a cold.
It's cool. I know. I saw in your video you were getting over the flu. So
yeah. So I used to do like Magic the Gathering videos and stuff like that, and
which you got kicked out of. Keep that in mind. The Quartering got kicked out of Magic Gathering.
Overnight it cut in half, and YouTube now seems to favor multiple uploads, which you do on your main channel.
Exactly,
but
Roach
gameplay
Bait.
videos just aren't what they used to be. They're just they're just not. YouTube wants to push their live streams.
Okay, then why is it that Markiplier is able to stay in front of the pack when he just does YouTube videos? Why is PewDiePie able to stay in front of the pack when he just makes YouTube videos? Why is Dashy Gaming able to stay ahead of the pack making just YouTube videos? Why are any of these cats that just make YouTube videos still able to stay ahead of the pack? They're still doing something right. They are still able to live a very lavish life because they're able to stay ahead of the pack. There are people that quit YouTube, but their videos still are making them money, residual income, because they continue to get views, even though they've long since gone. So that doesn't add up. Like, if you were a smaller channel and you were getting like, I don't know, let's just say $500 from YouTube, and then getting half of that as $250, then yeah, I could say that. I could see that hurting you. But if you're making that kind of money, that shouldn't be bothering you. If it's bothering you that badly, you were doing something severely wrong.
Let me ask you this. So now that you've been streaming on Twitch,
To play
this is
them.
one of the hottest questions. Like, whose nudes do you have from Twitch? Like, who do you have? I won't never ask you to name them, but like, has like, where are you? Because where are you at with people from Twitch? Do you think you're on good terms with them?
It's funny you asked that, because the honest answer I could give you is I don't think anyone like on Twitch has an issue with me. I just think that they don't want to touch me with the 10-foot pole because of the trolls that follow me around.
You got Tevin kicked off of Twitch.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. But I can give you, I'm not going to name any names. There's some examples. There's been a couple people who, like, I was cool with them. Sometimes they would come and hang out on my streams. I would come hang out on their streams. And within a year, they basically told me, we can't do it anymore. Your trolls are like invading my fucking streams and harassing my viewers, and I can't.
And this is unconfirmed, uncorroborated. There's nobody that's ever come out and said that. This is just Phil making up shit again to make his detractors sound worse than what they are. Don't get me wrong. There are some bad apples out in the detractor sphere. There's bad apples in any sphere. Just look at Phil. He's bad in the gaming sphere. But if I remember correctly, only person I can think of at this time, maybe, is Ptolemaeo. This might be
I think it's Ptolemaeo.
This might be the Ptolemaeo part, and that was off of what Phil said. And Ptolemaeo had to turn around and throw that in his face when he did that interview with him. And he's like, no, it don't matter who sent me the video of what you said, Phil. You still said it. Hence why I told you, take me off of your stuff.
Can't have that.
Yeah.
So not anything against you, Phil, but I'd rather have it that we don't have a relationship because your trolls are toxifying my content. And I was like, fair enough. I can't.
Yeah.
How can I say anything to dispute that? It's
No.
not me. It's
No.
not that person. It's this outside force that follows me around like a hemorrhoid on my ass, and I don't know what to do about it. And
Not engage it. That's what you could do. Just don't engage it. Or maybe, just maybe, as I've said plenty of times before, you have more people that don't like you than like you. Maybe you should investigate why more people don't like you.
it
Phil,
sucks that
the
that
main
happens.
reason why you was having problems on Twitch is because, again, and I posted a couple other videos, you were making many racial jokes, not against just African Americans, not against Muslims, but many people, and they called your ass about it. And guess what you were saying? You were saying, "Oh, fuck you! It's a joke." Whatever, you ban that person. So again, no, you didn't get kicked off because my detractors, whatever. No, you did to yourself, motherfucker.
Yup. He's the most oppressed American for.
But no, like I don't have any real.
Yeah, the trolls
personal relations
toxified
to
him.
anyone on
He's been
Twitch
overly
simply because of
toxified.
that. Like people are afraid to have that association because they know that they get this spillover of bad stuff onto their own content.
Well, and if you follow like modern day Twitch, you know, my answer to a lot of people who were asking me about that with you, like, wow, how the fuck does Phil stay on Twitch? It's mostly because you don't get political. Like that seems to be a really hot button issue with Twitch. Like if you, and what I mean like political isn't necessarily like, oh, I like the president or I don't like the president, but the issues, right? Like you basically just stick to streaming your games. And I think that has insulated you. What do you think of the modern state of Twitch with kind of their push towards
Siege mode for no reason.
IRL streamers and these like political debate channels and stuff like that? What do you think about all that?
I think there's a space for everything. Like I think that it was weird because Twitch
The
started as
fence
Just
answer?
in TV, which was supposed to be like that stuff.
Yeah.
But then they
right.
said, "Oh, we're going to become Twitch TV, and it's only gaming." In fact, I had a friend who was doing a show on Twitch TV, and when they became Twitch, they told him, "You can't do your show anymore because it's not about gaming." He was like, "What?" They actually pushed him off of Twitch and said, "We won't let you stream here unless you're going to do games." And now here we are, years later. They changed their mind. Now they want everything back. But
that
yeah, I
funny?
think there's a place.
Yeah.
I think there's a
Do you
place
have any
for
proof
everything.
of
I really
this?
do. I think there's a space for everything. But for me, like, I would not want to go there. I am known as a gamer. People want my opinions on games. Yes, when I do an
No, they
interactive stream,
don't.
they'll ask me other stuff. That's fine. You
No,
want to toss other stuff into the conversation. But the
Yeah.
last thing I want is my stream to become a place where people are coming to be just
Exactly. It's
virulently
never his
angry at
fault.
each other and nasty with each other about. I always say politics and religion are the two topics that I don't want to discuss in depth. If there's a game that has a topic on politics or religion, it's a part of the game's plot. Okay, then we can talk about it. But
Sure.
I'm not going to go
Yeah,
there
why
because
just make
there's so
DSP
many people who
politics?
just in the modern
Exactly.
day, if you don't agree with them on politics or religion, that's it. That's like the shut off point. If you're
Yeah.
not in agreement with them on what they believe for politics or religion, I don't want to watch your content. I hate your guts. I'm going to troll you. I'm going to do this and that. And I don't understand.
Then so be it. If the person decides they don't want to watch you because, say, they believe in God and you don't, or you like a particular topic in politics and they don't, and they turn around and don't want to deal with you again because of it, so be it. So again, Phil is letting imaginary people dictate his life, dictate his streaming, and even to some degree dictate his thought process. Instead of, hey, yeah, say just the example, let's use the current environment. I don't really care for Trump. Okay. If somebody's like, I can't watch it because you don't like Trump, so be it. Or I don't like Kamala Harris. Okay, I don't like you because you don't like Kamala Harris. Then so be it. That doesn't change anything besides you lost one person or 5 people. That doesn't change anything else about your content. So what Phil is telling us with this statement, which still plays into today, Phil will not do anything on his own. As Dwight said, he will not stand on business. Because, it'll affect how people view me. Well, if people already view you badly, the majority view you badly, what difference does this make? What are you going to say, Vanguard? You there, Vanguard? All right.
And that I'm an open mind kind of guy where, like, even though there's a lot of people I don't agree with on politics or religion, that doesn't mean that
Yeah,
I
out of control
write off
gangs
everything
stealing
that person's
cannabis
ever
bags.
done on Earth. You know, if they're a talented
Right,
musician or a
yeah.
talented content creator, I don't say because I don't agree with you on the politics, I hate you now. But that's how people are. So I
Yes, that's how people are. So we just go ahead and acknowledge that fact that this is a possibility. There are things that have happened within this community that people are like, yeah, I can't rock with you because I sit one way or another on certain topics that have happened in the community. That's just how it is. You take that and you move on. You gotta get a dog. All right. Like, you cannot keep everyone there. And then on top of that, people have told you the main issue with your political show is you ride the fucking fence. You don't pick a side. You don't tell us your thoughts. We don't get DSP's thoughts. We get what DSP thinks people want to hear.
say I don't want that on my streams. I don't want to get that stigma. Trust me, I got enough problems. I don't need to be also dealing with a whole new can of fucking worms too.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate that take. I agree with you 100%. You know, I don't you know, so my content kind of leans towards like more of the like anti-PC, but like a lot of people view my content, they're like, oh, he's definitely a Trump supporter, for example, or he's definitely a whatever supporter. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, I want everyone to watch my content, you know, because I know once you pick a side, as you pointed out, then the other side fucking hates you.
That's right.
It wasn't always like that. And you and I have both been online long enough. It wasn't like that 5 years ago, but that's what it is now.
Yeah. This political climate really changed things. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Very hard. You got to pick and choose your topics now to make sure you don't piss off the wrong person.
Yeah.
You're always going to piss off somebody.
Speaking of people that hate people, you know, can you give me some insight? So I've watched, like, I went and watched a couple of streams. I'm not what, you know, like I said, what you might call a detractor channel. I haven't been, you know, I've just known you've existed forever. And so then I try to watch some of the, you know, these channels, and I see where they're.
Yeah, it's a fact of life. Exactly.
You
can't please everyone.
Interacting with your chat, it's obviously different. Where do you put yourself in your interactions with chat? You know, you spend a decent amount of time acknowledging your trolls. That must be on purpose, right? Like, so when I see trolls in my live chat, I'll either mute them or not acknowledge them. But it is part of your show, and you know,
part
I
of
know
your
you
show.
must know. You're not an idiot. You must know that some people are hate watching you, and so you interact with people or whatever the case may be. You know, where do you think, you know, how does that work into your live stream? You know, interacting with these people that are just always in your orbit, you know, just to shit on you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Quartering is openly
when
on
I
the
started,
right.
it wasn't like that. You know, when I started, it was YouTube, because I remember I started exclusively on YouTube. I wasn't even live streaming.
Again, a
And
diatribe
it
we
used to be
don't
like
need.
people legitimately would come to watch your content because they were looking for something positive. They were looking for something fun, something energetic. They wanted to be a part. They were excited, right? They were always excited to be part of this new thing on YouTube. That was 10, 11 years ago. At some point, it became, we're here to shit. We're just here to take a big dump on everybody. We don't care what you do or what it is. We have to find the faults and destroy you. And they get jollies doing that, you know?
You have a lot
and
of
I've
faults,
noticed in the
Phil.
last,
A
you know,
lot
I'd
of
say
them.
probably started in 2012. I know that's a long time ago, but
Not
you know,
for
over
me.
the years,
Yeah.
there's a giant group of people now who just are only there to crap on me. Now, I could completely ignore them. That's true. I could over moderate. That's true. And to some extent, I used to do that. Like when I was just on YouTube,
You do.
I used
You
to
still do that.
heavily police my comments on my videos. Heavily police them to the point where people were like, "I don't like watching Phil's videos because I can't comment. When I comment, everything seems like it's super policed and commented on there, or you know, moderated on there."
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're
but
a
I couldn't do
thin-skinned
it anymore.
bitch.
I was a one-man army. I wasn't going to sit there moderating my stuff all day. I had a life. I wanted to make more gameplay. I wanted to do other stuff. I couldn't just sit there. So at one point, I just let it go. And what I noticed systematically is over the years, more toxic people came in, more stuff just kept crapping on the videos, to the point where I noticed, like, you know, everything was still good when it came to my fans. My fans still loved my content and wanted to come see it, but there was this increasing like cloud over my head of people following me around saying negative things. And you're right. I think originally I kind of back in the day when it first started, this negative cloud behind me, I react to it the worst possible way. I acknowledged it. I complained
This is
about
how you
it.
don't play?
I said it's not fair. I whined. I screamed. I made a big tantrum. All these guys are jerks. How could they do this? You know, there was this movement on YouTube called "This Is How You Don't Play" that was created off of me and my gameplay. And if I had reacted in a different way to it and probably said, "Oh, that's funny. That's a funny montage that people made of me," you know, it probably wouldn't have ever blown up to what it was. But they liked the fact that when they made these videos about me, that I reacted to them. Oh, I got the reaction I wanted out of Phil.
Yeah.
And now when he plays a game, it's more about getting him to get angry or fail at a game so we can make another one of these to get attention for us, and just kept feeding itself to become this like organic entity of this toxic cloud that kept growing and growing. So when I stream now, I realize that cloud's always there. It's never going to go away. It's associated with me permanently now, right? It's attached to me permanently. What I try to do
Phil,
is
you
balance
caused
it.
this.
I can't say it doesn't exist, because there are people who actively will come in my chat and actually are supportive. They'll contribute via, you know, the methods you contribute on Twitch, and they'll help me to keep going, but they're only there to really wait for that moment when I screw up in a fighting game and I swear and I get angry at the person, or I overreact in a game. You know, they're waiting for that moment of fail to really latch on and say, haha, I got him. Now let's make fun of him and stuff. You got to kind of laugh with it, you know. And back then, when I first started, like I said, earlier days, 7-8 years ago, I wasn't like that. I thought my shit didn't stink. I was like, how could anyone
That's a lie,
criticize me or
Phil.
make fun of me? That's
Big
not right.
ass fucking
Now I'm a
lie.
different person. Like, I've learned over the years, you got to roll with that. Now,
Yeah.
some people say
We've
don't
heard
acknowledge
this.
it at all.
We have heard the same argument before. I call it an argument because that's what it is. It's Phil arguing with himself because he doesn't do this. He doesn't roll with it. That's why we still have all the shit he still bitches about today.
But the thing is, if a lot of people are doing it and you don't acknowledge it at all, now it's like they're not going to come back. Or at the same time, what I've noticed is some people, if they don't get that acknowledgement, it just makes it worse. They'll try to find another way to intrude. If I just let it roll and pretend like it's a natural part of my stream, it doesn't bother people that much. In fact,
That's
there's
a good point.
there's a few negative memes that have come up that at first they pissed me off, but I realized if I embrace the meme and I make it my own, it's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've been.
What meme have you embraced and made it your own? Like what meme have you embraced and made it your own? I mean, now the ones you do try to make fun of do eventually die off because you beat them into the ground. You don't know why it's funny, Phil. You really don't.
Trying to do. I make emotes now in my chat of some of the memes that are negative memes, because that way it takes the power away from them and people don't see it as a negative anymore because everyone's doing it, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I've been trying to embrace it in the last couple of
Yup,
years
let me
since I've become a
scam
full-time
in
streamer.
peace.
Is understand it's there, recognize when it's there. Don't make the whole stream about it, because there's positive people there who are there to also enjoy my content on a positive level, and they don't want to just hear negative the whole stream.
level.
But if it's there, laugh at it, make a sarcastic comment about it, and move on. Don't dwell on it all the time. But at the same time, when you allow that thing to have
DS
power,
positive.
you know what I mean? It gets even worse. And at the same time, if you don't acknowledge it at all, that's a group of people that, number one, could be contributing and they're not, because now they feel like you don't care anymore. And number two, that's a group of people that.
So we're talking about money. Back then we're talking about money. Oh, well, they could be, you know, contributing and they're not because I'm not acknowledging them. Okay, who gives a fuck? I mean, does it matter?
Might find another way to hurt you more maliciously behind the scenes, because what
Yeah.
they're doing isn't working. So let's find another way to screw him, you know, behind the scenes that's not on his live stream.
Yeah, that's good to hear, because, you know, I told people when I said we were going to talk, people are like, oh, he's not going to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. I said, no. When I talked to him in private, he understood. He's like, look, we can talk about the shit where I fucked up. You know, we could talk about some of the funny stuff. I don't want to talk about personal finances, by the way, which is fine. I don't want to talk about my exes, which is also, by the way, fine.
So right there, the quarter pounder is they're saying, well, these two things are off the table by Phil. Phil saying these two things cannot be talked about. Again, once you start adding stipulations into what cannot be talked about, there's no point in the interview. It's like we're not going through with it, because the interview is not me just giving you a puff piece. It is actually interviewing you. It's to ask you things that make you uncomfortable. It's to ask you things that you may have some insight in. If I cannot ask you anything, then this is just a waste of everyone's time, mine included.
You know, and it's one thing where there are guys that have been out there. I've been out there more than 10 years too, but under several different channels. And there have been guys out there, you know, I don't know if you put yourself in the same category with them, but as a layman, there have been people who've streamed for a really long time and they have a large group of detractors, and they still have, it's when it starts out great. Look, when I started my YouTube channel, I had like a 99% upvote on every
Right.
video I did.
Right.
But over the years, you piss a few people off. Even your most loyal fans are the ones that turn into the ones that really hate you the most. And so then, okay, it went from 10. If I had 10 dislikes on a video, I was like, oh, what the I fuck up. Now, if I have like 100, now I'm like, oh, okay. So I definitely feel like I understand where that's at. I look at a guy like you and a guy like Wings, and where both of you have been on long enough, where you have
Wings.
long kind of, or you have, I'm sorry, a solid group of haters, but you also have a solid group of you're still your fans. And where Wings, I don't know, he probably has it worse than you. Where
So back then, the Quartering sitting there telling Phil, yeah, Wings got it worse than you. So back then, you were still being told that, hey, this other dude's worse than you have it. That still hasn't connected in Phil today.
but he still reacts like old Phil used to react. If I could talk to DSP, I would say, dude, you got to lean into the meme, because eventually it's not going to be as fun to make fun of you, because you're like, yeah, I fucked up,
You are talking to DSP. So again, that makes no sense. I mean, you're talking about, yes, you're talking about past DSP, but fuck, you're talking to DSP right now. So you're telling me that the Quartering went into this interview with very little knowledge of DSP. Like, he decided not to look up most of anything. That's a bad interview off the rip right there.
Right. Whatever. This happened and whatever, how do you see, he talks about now, there's a recent stream where he was like, basically like, look, I got to turn my haters into payers, essentially. I've got to convert, because these are the people that are coming in.
I am not the ultimate victim. Challenge accepted.
Channels that basically are 100% dedicated to making content, and you've got a few of them too.
Oh,
so, how do you approach that type of content now? What do you think of these dedicated channels that are basically just memeing on you?
See, here's the thing. Again, I'm different now than I used to be. When I was a full-time YouTuber, I was like really.
Again, this is the same shit he was doing with side scrollers. Back then. Motherfucker, I didn't ask you about back then. I asked you about now.
What is he pitching about?
This is the Quartering interview I'm going over. So right here, Jeremy should have been like, hey man, look, we're very limited on time. You already told us your back then story. I need you to answer the question now, since time is limited. But nope, we're just going to let him run out the clock.
Really pissed off about it. And I would call these channels out. They're stealing my content. I wish I could take them down, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even like that anymore. Like, for me,
you did take down some of them.
I don't mind that they exist, as long as what they do is, I don't care if you take a shot at me. I don't care if you make fun of me. I don't care if you call me a lol cow. I don't care what the frick you call me. But don't try to actually like hurt myself or my livelihood or my family. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because sadly, there's people who do take it that far. And I hate to say it, but the people who make those channels don't realize that what they're doing is kind of putting the ammo into a group of people who aren't like them. Those guys, they're doing it for laughs. They're doing it to make fun of me and to make some popularity, get popularity on my expense, right?
Yeah.
They're not laughing with me. They're laughing at me, but they get a rise. They make some money doing it. Whatever. It's fine. I don't care about that. What I care about is now the person who watches all their content comes after me and my family personally, which has happened many times.
Yeah.
And that.
Once. You were swatted once. Actually, it wasn't even a swatting. It was a wellness check. So you're lying there. Nobody's come after your family. Nobody. So again, this is that lie Phil likes to tell to make it seem like his detractors are worse than what they are. You don't have Wings trolls where they're sitting there sending people to your house. They're calling up family members and fucking with you. You don't have any of that, Phil. So again, we're pushing a fake narrative that my detractors, some people in my detractor sphere that are just this terrible, There are none. You had a wellness check once. That's it. But you want to be a victim so goddamn bad that we will make up stories about detractors doing things that haven't been done.
That's what I'm worried about. Like, I don't care if someone makes a video, this is how you don't play, here's a montage of Phil sucking a dark soul.
That's a lie.
Big deal. But you make a video that says, Phil is 100% a scammer, and he regularly, every day, he steals money from his viewers by lying to them constantly, and he's a really dishonest, disgusting person, and he really shouldn't exist. You're going to get people who are going to, like, in their head, not understand that that's a video to make fun of me. They think this is a call to action. And now they think that they have to do everything they possibly can.
Okay, Phil. So how about, let's go ahead and take that logic. So what about when you sat there? Wellness check isn't accurate. Broside Phil went over the incident. It was more on the lines of a swatting, but they took caution due to the warning Phil had put in. They also had him come out. Yeah, but see, like, all right, so the reason I don't call it a swatting, when Quartering got swatted, SWAT showed up at his house. When you hear about a lot of these other YouTubers and streamers get swatted, SWAT shows up at their house. Phil had 2 officers show up. That's not a swatting. Okay, you didn't have he didn't have APCs roll up on his front lawn with a bunch of dudes heavily armed with guns pointing at him. The Quartering had that. Phil didn't. Wasn't like they broke in and pointed guns at him. They had him and his wife come out. They weren't swatting stuff. They just, yeah, like when the Quartering was on Rekieta Law, it was like right after his swatting. He was sitting there talking about how scary that was. When you got like 30 people showing up at your doorstep, guns drawn, fully armored, riot shield, and everything else. Phil was just knock, knock, knock. Hey, can you come outside so we can check the house? That's 2 completely different things. I mean, now, if you want to break it down, yes, it is all still labeled swatting. I will grant that. But not to the way Phil was trying to make it out to be.
To hurt someone like me or someone like me. Some of the stuff that's happened, you wouldn't even believe some of the stuff that people...
What's up?
I'm about to head out in a second, but I just wanted to bring up something like if from that Broside Phil thing.
Yeah, what's up?
So from what it sounds like, we paranoid like that we got these cameras everywhere.
Yes, I heard about that. That he, yeah.
Like that. We living so close to the projects, all them basketball Americans. Because I've said it before. He's not the gated community he keeps touting out. It's not that gated.
No,
not that gated. He lives adjacent from a housing complex.
Well, the funniest thing is the way he tried to retcon that again on Smart Guys. But when you watch it, it's like, okay, Phil, yeah, you're full of shit once again. I'm not surprised you tried to retcon
What's up,
this.
Soul?
And he failed miserably.
Wow, what did he say?
He was saying, oh, no, it's not the main cameras. It's like a handful of cameras here and there. It's like, Phil, no. Stop lying.
You paranoid. You scared. Like I said, that's how, like I said, like I've said this in the past, like Phil does not leave that house. Like the whole day off segment of grocery shopping, pet supplies, and alike, that shit is door dashed.
Yeah, it's called the snort fort for a reason.
That house, like I said, the moment the pictures came out about him and his fat wife, he got extra paranoid because he knew someone was waiting to give him some hands. Yep. He knows that there's a beating waiting for him outside that house. That's why we don't go nowhere, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's why it's called the snort fort. It got that name for a reason. Like, and then on top of that, he was bragging to the officer about how much money he makes. And then you don't want the police to show up? Yo, if you're getting death threats via email and they ask to come out and look at them, yeah, come right on over. Why are you denying the
That's just
police to
'cause
come over?
Because he know he over there doing something wrong that people shouldn't know about, and he don't want that shit on record. But it's like, this is life, bro. But like I said, I'm glad you let us know how paranoid you are, because you live in the fucking hood. Again, I've said this in the past. No gated community, no real gated community is gonna be 30 minutes away from a whole spot.
Yeah.
I've said this in the past. Ain't no real gated community is 30 minutes away from a whole spot. Sure, shit ain't close to businesses and all that. No, it's far away from the business district. They are in areas that if you wandering about and you don't live there, you ain't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Thank you, Liquid Carl.
he lived outside the one fence is like a crack house, and right behind him is an actual factual apartment complex.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is, Dwight, the police officer at the time, well, she's now a detective at the time. Either way, she was saying that when she saw those cameras, she was
I'll be
like,
right back while you guys are
grow
talking.
up.
She tell him?
She was saying, grow up. Because when she saw those cameras outside his house, it's like, really, dude? Are you this paranoid? She wasn't saying that part, but she was like, in her mind, grow up. And the fact of it is, he lied on her. Is like, oh, really? This is what the only time, and she says, the only time we'll tell somebody to go to the FBI is if they're labeled at 220. As in, okay, I'm tired of talking to you. You're 220. I'll say go talk to the FBI. And she was the only female, a female on the police force at the time. Go ahead. No, go ahead, my man.
I'll rap with you later, though, bro.
All right, my man. All right, take it easy, my man. Oh, you still there, Ice? So definitely watch that. It is really, really good. Like, bro side broke it down even further. Like, again, when Phil and PPP tried, PPP, Action, fat motherfucker, what you would call him, tried to retcon this, like, really, you gonna retcon this at the seeing it? Like, yeah, okay. Liquid Carl, it is. It definitely is. Don't worry, guys. I see you. I think it's. I'll be right back in the next few minutes. All right. It's a different Leanna, not the same Leanna, but
I'm back.
It's a different Leanna. But welcome back, guys.
Yeah.
It's a different Leanna. But still, though, the fact of it is, it's kind of crazy how the police officer's first name is Leanna. Apparently, her maiden name is Whitney. Excuse me. That's her maiden name. Because apparently, she got a new last name. Just tell me she's married. Anyways, Officer Leanne Whitney pretty much broke it down and pretty much said, no, I investigate how Phil really is. He is a nutcase.
A 220.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I've had it all too. I've had swattings. I've had to deal with a lot of that bullshit too. People calling my fucking mom, who doesn't even know how to use Facebook or whatever.
Right.
You know, people called my mother-in-law and told her that I was a neo-Nazi. and she's like, what? No, like he hangs out with black dudes. I know. Yeah, like, but like, so I've had issues like that too. But you know, as you probably are aware, you know, and I said I wouldn't ask any questions about it specifically, but that is the biggest issue with your detractors is the money, right? Like,
yeah, oh yeah, I would think so. Now the thing is,
So
you
this is a
can't really get
problem
straight
back
answer
then.
because
Yeah.
depending on who you ask,
Mhm.
if you the way that it works with my detractors, I don't know about Wings and everybody else because
Yeah.
I stay out of everyone else's business. I really do. I don't know anything about what's going on with these other guys, but with me, it's called moving the goalpost. Meaning their issue with me today is money. So okay, so something happens and okay, that's an issue. But then when that's not an issue anymore, the next thing is the issue. Because originally it wasn't about money. When I started on YouTube, I was making tons of money. I didn't need money. I wasn't asking for donation.
So then where did the money go that you're begging for it now, Phil?
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem to understand. You want to throw out this story of, oh, well, in the beginning I was making lots of money. Okay. Then why do you not have money now? If you're making so much money and then by your own admittance that you made 15 to 20 grand in 1 month from YouTube and Machinima, where is that money now? You've made over $1 million in the course of your life and you have no money. Welcome back, Dunce. So something's not jiving here, Phil. Where is the money?
I wasn't asking for people to tip me on streams or do any of this stuff.
Yes,
I
you
was
were. You've always been asking people to give you money. Right to when you first lost your job, you asked them to click the ads. And then you made a follow-up video when you got in trouble for that, saying if you know, you know. Then you sat there and said, I got my Patreon to help pay for the offset of some of the prices of these games. You have always been asking for money from your viewer base for years. So don't sit here and lie about that shit now. No, not the Leanna. He got the Officer Whitney's name is Leanna.
Leanna. It's like I said, it's a different
Revenue.
Leanna. Not
So
the
I
same
didn't
Leanna.
ask- Back then it was, Phil's a cocky asshole. He doesn't take his playthrough seriously. He insults the game developers. So I
What you
changed
do-
my attitude. I'm not going to do that anymore. Oh, well now Phil did this and Phil did, and that's the thing. Like there's always
What's
a
up, Bill
new
Wilson?
thing
Exactly. Where's the
that
money,
they seem to
Lebowski?
now bring up as the thing that they hate me for. I would say initially they'll tell you it's money, but then if you kind of debunk what they're talking about, oh, that didn't really happen. Here's what really happened. Oh, well, didn't you also know that Phil did this and this?
No, Phil. Money's always been a thing. So this was 2019, actually. 9/29/2019. People have been getting on you about money forever now. So that's not moving the goalpost. The goalpost, as far as money is concerned, has never been moved. It has still been the one thing that people still get on you for. It is the one thing that is a constant in a DSP stream is money, begging for money, demanding money even. So there is no debunking of money, as Truth Seekers showed you. This person's counting how many times you beg in a video. Well, you can't prove that. Phil, this is them counting how many times you beg in a video. That is the proof. The proof came from you. This isn't a made up thing. This is from your one stream. Oh, well, that's out of context. There is no context to you begging. You just beg.
To this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
You know
what the big one that came up with the most was this cat thing. Do you know what that's about?
Oh, yeah.
People said,
spent
here's how
$1,000
it was
on
told
a
to me,
cat.
that he had an X goal for money and then to reveal something, and then it was his cat.
Was it 2 grand? 1 or 2?
What was that even about? How long ago was that?
That was a few months ago. 2 months ago? 3 months
Okay.
ago? It was
Okay.
fairly recently.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. That's right. That's probably why they're all talking about it because it just happened a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
But no, I had a stream
Nice.
where I told everyone it was a special event, a marathon style stream that I was going to be playing a certain amount of games, certain type of game. It was a kind of a gimmick event because I needed to raise funds. I was in a big bad financial position. I had a bunch of things.
So right there, Jeremy should have just been like, wait, but you said it's not about money, but here you are saying you did an event for money. So right there, he just told Jeremy a fucking lie to his face. You debunk money. You just said right here, you're now saying, oh, I needed money for an event. But you just said you could debunk them about how you're not all about, that you're not asking for money or anything. Oh, okay.
Things coming up that I needed to pay, and I looked at it. I know I can't do it. Now I know my fans will support me if I ask for it. So I said, I'm going to do a special marathon stream to raise tips. And if I hit a certain level, a goal level of what I like to raise during that day, I'm going to give you guys a positive reveal as a way to say thank you. And this is something that could maybe even affect positively my streams in the future or my content. We'll see, you know, but that's how I spun it. It wasn't, oh, you know, this is a life-changing event. I'm promising you guys the world that there's going to be some crazy thing if we raise a certain amount of money. And I never even told anyone what the amount of money was or anything. It was just in fact, that morning, I just out of my head pulled a random number out of my head, never expecting that I would reach it. And the number was $1,000.
No, Phil, $1,000 is always your go-to number. Everything you do is $1,000. You always say $1,000.
Okay, I was like, I'll never reach this on one stream. I'll never do this, right? That's crazy.
That'd be a killer stream.
What the hell? I'll pull it out of the sky. I'll put it up as a goal. Maybe it'll motivate people. If I had got a couple $100, I would have been thrilled, right?
Yeah.
So I do the stream, and it's about 3/4 through the stream, and it's almost over. And I'm like, well, guys, you know, just so you know, here we are. The stream's almost over. There's the goal. Here's where we are. And people were like, well, are you still going to reveal the thing at the end of the stream? I was like, I don't know. We'll see. And the truth of the matter is, I was going to do it anyway. I didn't tell anyone that because obviously you want to motivate people to contribute. I was going to do it anyway.
That's a lie. That's a lie. And the way we can prove that is because later on when you didn't hit a goal and people asked about it, you said, no, we didn't hit the goal, so why would I give it to you? Those were your words, Phil.
Yeah. But I want to motivate people to contribute. All of a sudden, people started coming out of the woodwork and started contributing. If you can believe it, we hit the goal. Okay?
Damn.
So I'm like...
That's a good day's work.
That's crazy.
No, one person came out and gave you $1,000. The first time.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, all right, this is amazing. Stop at the presses. We'll stop playing games. I just want to introduce you to my pet cat who had lived with me for a while now, and I actually have completely kept him under wraps because, as I told you, I have such this weird cloud of haters that they try to fuck with my private life. And I knew that anything that I reveal about my private life, they make it a negative, no matter what. So I'd actually kept my cat private and not let anyone know about him for a long time. It was a secret. I never let him in my office. The funny thing is he has a bell around his neck. Damned if I know how they didn't hear it in the hallway. Like,
people did know. People said you had a cat. You banned people for saying you had a cat. So again, another lie.
Ringing behind the door or whatever, but they
I have
never
5 cats, by the way.
Oh, really? So there you go. You know they make noise and stuff. So good God, Lord knows how no one knew that I had a cat. I don't know. Maybe they guessed or whatever, but
you heard that? Or maybe they guessed. No, they
let them
did.
in, and I'm playing with them, and we're having fun. And the thing is, there were 2 groups of people. My fans, my actual fans, were super happy. They were like, that's the cutest cat ever. This is a cool reveal. This is something that Phil never does. Reveals part of his personal life. He hasn't done this in such a long time. That's really
a lie, Phil. You tell us your entire life. So again, a lie.
Actually cool. This is cooler than what we thought it was going to be. Some people thought it was going to be, I'm announcing I'm adding a piece of equipment to the stream or something. But to see this, cat and the cat now, the cat has free roam to come into my office whenever it wants now. I leave the door open, so if he wants to join me on a stream, he'll come in. It was funny. Tonight I'm playing Street Fighter, and he's like messing with my hand when I'm trying to do moves and stuff. You know, it's a funny, silly thing.
They do that, yeah.
But the thing that gets me is there's the other group of people. Oh my God, that's it? So Phil charged $1,000 to see his cat? Oh my God, I can't. What a dishonest scammer.
That's exactly what you did, Phil. You charged people $1,000 to see a goddamn cat. Something that everybody can see for free every day. That is what you did. There is no, oh, well, it's a positive reveal. Hey guys, give me $1,000. I'll show you a fucking cat. Okay.
He said this was going to be something amazing and he was going to really contribute to the streams. And this is a bullshit. And that's how they spin it. Now, on top of all that, what ended happening in the next 20 minutes was crazy. So I'm playing with my cat and everything. A longtime fan of mine came out to the stream late and was like, oh, this is amazing. And he gave me another $1,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I've never had a donation that big. Like, that's crazy.
It was nuts. I was like, I wasn't expecting that. That's crazy, right? I'm super happy now.
That's a lie. People said you knew that money was coming. Everybody said that you knew that money was coming. Like you knew, because that $1,000, the second $1,000 was from I want to say the first $1,000 was from OIC. The second one, 1 Minute Man. 1 Minute Man gave Phil that second $1,000.
But then again, so now the new conspiracy is this whole thing was planned. Phil already had someone lined up to give him the $1,000 behind the scenes. So the whole thing was a scam to get his other fans to give him money too. You know, this is what I mean. This is what these people do. They think these crazy conspiracy theories up.
Okay.
And they spin them into fact. And you mentioned these channels that just detract on me constantly. They all had their own weird story about the cat story that Phil
Told me as a
viewers
cat.
out of $1,000 but $2,000 somehow.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was all a plan behind. It was some malicious plan behind the scenes. It's like, but if you were there and you were live for the event, you would realize none of that happened. It was actually a very positive, fun stream. People were having fun with games. They were contributing slowly, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh man, he didn't hit the goal. Let's help Phil out. And at the last minute, everyone kind of rallied. We hit the goal. It was amazing. Okay, here's my cat. You know, not really a big deal. It wasn't like I was publishing this for months that this was going to be.
So that wasn't a big deal. Okay, so nice way of now downplaying this reward. So 2019, we are downplaying the $2,000 that he received, the reward that they got for giving him $1,000. Nice way of just shitting in everyone's face, Phil. Good job.
Crazy, life-changing reveal for everyone. It was just something as a reward, a little positive thing at the end of the stream if we hit the goal.
How's a reward?
And like I said, I was definitely going to show the cat anyway. I wasn't going to like hold it back as a secret. I was eventually going to show the cat, but people just want to make shit up. And that's the thing. That's the hot new thing. That Phil's a scammer. His $2,000 cat.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I really don't watch those. There's a couple of YouTube channels that I watch that will occasionally meme on you a little bit, but I don't watch some of these. I mean, I watch some of the Wings channels because they're fucking hilarious. Wings is just a different dude. Like, he hasn't figured out how to lean into it yet, and he's still, you know, but the funny thing was, that was a really big deal. And look, looking back at it, do you think maybe that like I do with thumbnails all the time, like I think the title's okay, or I think, like you say, hey, look, I just thought I was gonna do something, you know, important. But sometimes it's hard to judge like how your viewers, or in your case, also your strong detractors, will view something like that. You know, they're probably like, oh, Phil's got a kid on the way, or something like that.
I mean, there was some people who thought maybe Phil did have a kid. Most people knew he ain't had no damn kid. And it's just funny listening to Jeremy here, like trying to on the fly think of something to say. Like, he's trying to think of something. Even he knows is bullshit.
You can't avoid the way people react to your thumbnails. That's how I view it with your titles. So maybe that was a case of where, like, oh shit, maybe I should have had like a more, you know, normal title kind of thing.
Yeah, the thing is, you're right. Like, how do you say that? Because essentially, I didn't want to spoil. And it's like, oh, it's a minor, or it's a kind of a mid-level thing. People were guessing, of course, the whole time. They were guessing, is it a pet? Is it this or that? I can't give them a hint. And the problem is, when you don't give a hint, now they naturally build it up to be bigger than what it's supposed to be, right? They're building their own expectations up, and I can't.
No, they just say, I wonder what it is, and that's it.
Do anything about that. Now, the funny fact about the whole thing is, every single person who contributed that day liked it. Every person who contributed on that stream was happy. I never got a single person who came to me and said, Phil, I feel like the contribution that I gave you was dishonest. It's because
you did receive messages of people saying they weren't happy with the reveal. You did receive those, though. I love how we just rewrite our own history here.
You told us one thing and it was another. And the thing is, that's what's always happens when I have to do fundraising or whatever. The people are happy. The people who actually contribute aren't the people.
The people that contribute are happy. No one else. So that means anyone else that's in his chat not contributing, they don't fucking matter. Okay.
With the issue, it's the people who criticize me, the people who do full-time detraction on me, that always have the issue. It's never the people who are positively contributing. It's the people on the outside watching that seem to have the issue. So who really got scammed? Was it the viewer who contributed and was happy with the result? Or was it the person who blew up the expectation to be something it wasn't? And now we can use this as more fuel for more videos for our channels. And that's essentially what it turned into.
No, Phil. You had fans that were legitimately upset about this cat reveal because they thought it was going to be something else. They gave you this money. You said a positive reveal. I'm an animal lover, and I'm going to say this. A cat is not a positive reveal. It's just a reveal. Hey, I had a pet. Okay. Congratulations. A lot of people have a pet. That's not positive. Say most, oh, that's cute. You have a pet. But all right, Phil.
Okay. Let me ask you a non-drama related. Let's get back on like an interesting. So this was an interesting one that came in, and I do appreciate it. By the way, I'm gonna keep to the time that you said you had. You've already been very generous with your time. So
I can go. Just so you know, I can go till about. Honestly, I could probably go till about 11 p.m. my time, so I could go like another 40 minutes if you wanted.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Let's see how you keep. Talk to me in 20 minutes. See how you feel. Here's one that I thought. While I should ask you about the arcade one-up machines too, because I'm gonna get your opinion on those in a minute, because I just bought a bunch of them. Are you familiar with those?
I've seen them in the stores. Yeah, I saw them. They're like smaller versions of arcade cabinets of various games you could get on them. I've seen them. Yeah.
They had a Street Fighter 2 one that I bought today.
What's up, Anime Gun?
One that I bought. They come with a riser, so they're like more like.
Yep, couldn't pay for the UTI treatment. Exactly.
Not the same as they were.
Yeah, they're small.
Old heads like us.
We criticize them, you have to hate them. Exactly.
Like that. What was the one game? Killer Instinct. Like I remember that. Like anyway. One person asked this: while playing fighting games, why do you hold your controller like you're playing an arcade game? Does it help somehow? Is that I didn't think that was like a troll question. I thought they were being genuine. So
yeah, I think what they're saying. I wonder if I could bring a controller over here to show you what I think they mean. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
I think what they mean is. So
there you go. Ooh, look at the wiring. Oh my God. That wiring is everywhere. I can't even tell what goes into what. Jesus Christ.
There's two ways to hold a controller. The natural way to hold a controller is to use your thumbs, and then you use your fingers on the shoulder buttons. But when I play fighting games on a controller, I actually go like this, and I use my fingers and I push on top. And the reason is I find that especially for fighting games, a lot of the button inputs are multiple button inputs, and trying to push two buttons with the thumb especially can be very unreliable. Maybe you hit one but not the other. So when I do like this, I seem to like be able to simultaneously hit the buttons. And the reason is because I grew up on arcades. I actually used to be a competitive Street Fighter player.
Yeah.
And
oh God, here we go with this fucking story again. I used to be a competitive fighter. I played the arcades and I even went to Evo and made 4th place. Everybody laughed at me and wanted to kick my ass. But I showed them all by making 4th place in a game that nobody played.
used to play on American style controls where the buttons were face buttons on the arcade. You couldn't hit those with your thumb. They were too big. You had to use your individual fingers to hit the buttons top down. And that's how when I play fighting games, a lot of the times, especially Mortal Kombat and stuff like that, I'm pressing the buttons flat because it's very hard to do it with just the thumb. At least that's very difficult from my perspective.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So it sounds like that was actually a legit question. The have you seen the Neo Geo has a new mini where it's basically like the old Neo Geo? Because if you played old arcade games like I did, a lot of those were just basically Neo Geo cards.
Same hardware.
Yeah, same hardware, just a different input.
God,
so now
camera
they have like
shitty.
a mini that has the full arcade style controller. Any interest in playing on
well,
that?
At least for this program.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's cool. Right now I'm playing the Genesis Mini and I'm really enjoying it.
I love it. They did the best. They did better than anyone else. Better than even the NES Mini, the Super NES Mini, the Genesis Mini.
Let's go.
It's just so good. The cool retro music they designed just for it, and it's all your favorite games plus some additions that are new. It's really sweet, and it's such a variety too. You can just do a stream and play 7-8 different games on a stream and have so much fun.
Yeah,
why haven't you done that?
Earthworm Jim, classic.
Yeah.
I'm friends with the creator of that guy too.
Oh wow.
He's got a new comic, Earthworm Jim comic that's coming out and stuff like that. And then the guy from Tommy from Intellivision, which is the company that now they own Earthworm Jim.
Phil has no clue
They
what the
also
fuck
have
you're
the
talking about.
Original way back, you and I will remember Intellivision, but they have a new retro console coming out. that's kind of like the Genesis Mini or whatever, but it'll have Intellivision games, but it'll also have a brand new Earthworm Jim game on it, which will be exclusive to that too. So that's kind of a fun scene. Somebody asked this question. I don't know if there's a legitimate answer. If there's not, we can skip it. But do you have a favorite titty mod for Skyrim?
Oh my god, no! I've never played any mod. I played Skyrim on PC back in the day when it first came out, before the mods even hit. And when that game came out on PC, it was so buggy. It was like so many issues with the game.
Yeah, for many years almost, it was.
Half the dragons wouldn't render for me. They looked like these gooey purple Barney monsters. It was like really effed up. But no, I know I've never played any mods. I'm not a PC gamer essentially. I'm mostly console. Like 95% of the games I play are usually on console.
This was a dumb question.
No, I don't have a legit answer because I never done any mods.
No,
for
that's
Skyrim.
fair. That's a fair answer though. I've never been a mod guy myself.
The only interview he managed to lie his way out of.
I was like, hey, maybe Phil plays it on stream. I don't know. So a lot of questions pertain to this documentary, which you probably know. I don't know if you ever watched it, but I'm not going to ask any specifics from it.
I never played any Skyrim. I know.
Is this down the rabbit hole?
Yeah, no, I've never seen it. I've never seen the thing. I've heard about it. I've seen snippets of it. But I've never just sat down and watched it. And I basically know that these things exist out there about me, and I know that some of them are fair and some of them are completely unfair. I've heard this is one of the more fair ones.
I would say I've watched it twice. I watched it before our call today, and then I watched it like when I first reached out. I didn't think it was like memeing on. I mean, basically, it's like, hey, here's Phil. He outlays some of your early career, which is probably accurate.
Probably
talks
accurate.
about your AdSense bullshit, which you already, basically said, hey, this
get
is
a job.
That's accurate.
Shit, I have one. What's
some
on that?
some of
Get
your
another
low
job.
light moments in the early fighting scene where you're caught on tape being a dickhead.
Obviously, that was all the time back then. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was such an asshole when I played Street Fighter competitively. I was super dickhead. I admit that openly. I was just a real
this
asshole.
is why you have nobody from back then that wants to deal with you now.
Right. So like, okay, so that's accurate.
And yet he retcons this back and forth because he always said he claimed to play the heel.
This does shape the way a lot of people know who you are, right? Like a lot of people nowadays, where YouTube, they couldn't give a fuck about creators like you or I nowadays, unless you're like Will Smith or some Hollywood actor, they might recommend. You actually used to have videos on the YouTube homepage back when they would put popular videos on the homepage. Now it's like, the Tonight Show and Saturday Night Live and, so I think
yes, they put him on the front page because that was all the slop you were going to get back then. I have been watching YouTube for a very long time now. I remember watching YouTube when I was in high school. I've been watching YouTube since I want to say 2005, 2006. Like, my account even says as such of how long I've been a member of YouTube.
To kind of complete the thought on the kind of the detractor videos.
And this dude never once was on my front page. That's what I find hilarious. The length of time I have been on YouTube, DSP has never crossed my search history, or not my search history, but my front page, ever.
From the outside looking in, I view them most.
Oh, go ahead.
The only time I heard of DSP is when I was looking up specifically Street Fighter videos, and I guess the only reason he came up because he used to drown YouTube with Street Fighter 10-minute Street Fighter videos. Like, from what I heard, he used to do it like every match he uploaded it to YouTube.
Yeah, he did.
And if you consider how many matches that is, he literally flooded it, and that's how he got so many views. Because either people had to stop watching because they would flood their email box, or people just watched every single one like an idiot.
Well, remember, he admitted that people told him they had to unsubscribe from him because he was flooding their box so much.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly as a positive, and it sounds like you mentioned earlier, hey, basically, as long as they don't go, crazy over the line or try to fuck me over, they're still a good thing. Like they're still a thing that keeps me, interested in me going.
Yeah, to some extent, because it's like you and I just said, we know this isn't going to last forever. What, most YouTubers have a couple of years, 3-4
Yeah.
years, where maybe they could stay on
Tops.
top, and then that's it. It fizzles out.
Yeah.
And for me, because there's always a controversy about me, which literally I half the time don't even know about.
Oh yeah, a lot of his early footage of Street Fighter was stolen from matches when he was at Evo and whatnot. That's what got him disqualified from one of them, because he kept recording.
It keeps people coming to watch. I don't mind it, as long as it's not something that's going to not allow me to make a living, or not allow me to do what I love, or it's going to hurt myself or my family.
Yeah.
And the things that I don't like is when people lie, outright lie.
Which is funny considering all you do is outright lie. That's the one thing I love about habitual liars, is they get pissed off when someone lies to them. It's like, wait, but your whole career is fucking lying to people.
Rules for thee, not for thee.
That is true.
Well,
Because that does happen about me a lot.
Yeah, of all the shitty things DSP has done, and there are many,
Exactly, Bill.
the only one I ever had a problem with was the striking or flagging other people's videos, which you've said in this stream, like, yeah, hey, look, that was old me.
Back in the day,
I didn't
there
like
was
that,
there was no, like, back in the day, like way back in the day, we're talking again like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
There was like no way to do anything about that stuff besides ask nicely. Hey, I think the video you made is real mean about me. Could you take it down, or talk to me about it first? Get my permission, because you basically used my content without permission. Maybe if you had asked first, I would have said, okay, it's kind of messed up that you just did this without my permission.
Yeah.
Today it's the Wild West. Everyone uses everyone's content for anything under the
Yeah.
sun.
Fair use is just, it's over now, right? I see people
everyone
use
just
my
does
content
everything.
too. I'm like, whatever. Fuck, I can't do anything about it, even if I wanted to.
Right.
So wait, is that the Quartering admitting he would flag people if he could? And there'd be no repercussions, he'd flag people? Because that's what it sounds like. Like, and I get it. You don't like people using your stuff. I understand. But you're just sitting there like, yeah, I'm just going to start flagging people for it. It's kind of like, what the fuck?
But back then it was a relatively new thing, and I saw that.
From what I've heard, Machinima was doing that a lot for Phil when he was partnered with Machinima.
Yeah, they were. They were a lot back then.
Truly was those. This is how you
So
upload
it's kind of
videos.
funny Phil says this, but somebody who was false flagging for him, he just completely ignores that fact.
Oh, absolutely.
Took a negative light to my content in a way that had never happened before and made it virally popular, and I was terrified because I didn't have anything to fall back on at the time, and I was like, what's going to happen if now people hate my guts overnight and I have no recourse? So admittedly, back in the day, there were a few people who I tried to like take down their videos. It was, by the way, I'll say this, it wasn't a lot. It was maybe a small handful over the course of a couple of Machinima who did it, and I didn't even ask them to. They just went ahead and did it on my behalf, and I found out later, and then I got shit for it because people were saying that I'm telling Machinima to do stuff that I never told them to do. There's another issue that I have with Machinima behind the scenes, but
that sounds like you regret that, and you're not like that way anymore, though, which is the important thing.
There's no point to doing it.
I mean, you took down Super Crazy's video. I mean, I know Super Crazy is a sore subject in the community, and I understand why. But Phil, you still fast forward took down that video, and it didn't do anything wrong.
No point. It doesn't productively do anything to try to take down other people's videos. If anything, I just wish more people would understand and be more conscious that when you're going to make those kind of videos, that concretely can hurt someone. Because here's a personal example. Back in the day, I used to just say shit for shock value. I would say completely misinformed things. Like I would say anyone who plays Minecraft is a small child and an idiot, and why would anyone play Minecraft? They're all dumbasses, right? Mm-hmm. And people would actually like believe me because I had a big following back then. They were like, no, why? It's true. Everyone who plays Minecraft's an immature idiot. I didn't know anything about Minecraft. I had never played it. I knew nothing about it. I was just talking out of my ass to get shock value out of my videos. Okay. And now I realize, my God, like I was so irresponsible. That's a messed up thing to do, right? And
you should have been playing Minecraft all these years. Look at fucking PewDiePie.
Exactly. If I had jumped on those bandwagons back then, I would have been way bigger than I ever was. But
no, you wouldn't have been, because your attitude would have still killed it. See, Phil, what you don't seem to get, it doesn't matter what fad you jump on, what memeable thing. You jump in to play with people and whatnot. It's your attitude at the end of the day that's still going to dictate whether people are going to come watch you or not. It's going to be what decides if people want to stick with you or not. So, if you're going to be an asshole, you were an asshole then to Minecraft, and you started playing Minecraft, and you were boring, and you were still an asshole to people, nobody's going to stick around. That's why your videos have next to nothing for viewership. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, Phil, you play the new games as they come out. That's not giving you a boost in viewership. Like, you're still down. Because people know you're boring. They know you're
It's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
It's kind of funny because as much as he keeps claiming, oh, everybody's here to see me. Oh, I got more money during the pre-stream than I am playing this game. It's like, well, then, Phil, just stop playing games and do your pre-streams, get your money, and shut up. Take the free time you have where you would normally be playing the game and go spend time with your wife.
Exactly.
Because the entire thing is he's always bitching about having no free time to spend with his wife. He doesn't like playing the video games because he doesn't make enough playing them. But here we are still doing the same thing over and over and over.
Yep.
So the best thing you do is try and be entertaining on your own without playing a game, and then see where that gets you.
Yeah.
I was a very obstinate, ignorant person who just thought this whole thing was kind of a joke. I never really took YouTube seriously back then, and I thought this is just messed up. I'll just say whatever I want, and people will laugh at it or whatever. Now I regret saying a lot of the things that I said and did back then. Some of the racial humor that was kind of way over the top. That, you know I look back then, I'm like, there's generalities, and some of the stuff I said was kind of way too far in one direction.
It's a different time too, you know. I mean, it was like,
there we go. There you go. Different time. So Jeremy's in there now trying to sweep. This is the sweeping. Oh yeah, it was a different time, man. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's all good, man. All good.
10 years ago,
we can all admit that
that's a perfect
there
example.
was a different time back in the past where certain jokes were different. The Nazi joke was not one of them.
Exactly.
By the way, I'm gonna bring up a question that I think anybody else asking it would bother you, but I will tell you first. I have gout. I understand.
The Gouty Brothers. Brother, I too have the gout.
Thanks, Fang. Thanks.
You guys have a busted story? My idiot detractors, they didn't save me. Yes.
Understand how bad it fucking hurts. I get it in my big toe and my foot, and there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that takes the pain away.
That's right.
So, and you mentioned the kind of so essentially this whole cancellation thing was basically,
the police
Phil
lady
did these
reports
ching
on.
chong bing bong jokes, and whatever. I'm
yeah.
not one of those people that's offended by them. You can find them unfunny, fine, but I'm not gonna put any stock in the fact that you're offended by it. Fuck off. But especially when it was fucking years
Yes, he did,
ago.
Bill.
Stephen Colbert had a whole character named Ching Chong Ding Dong or something like that, and nobody said anything about that. So, this funniest cancellation thing was the you don't joke about my gout, but also Ching Chong Bing Bong. That was basically, the Daily Dots article, right? And then DeSerto basically wrote the same article, like, well, Phil,
exactly, Anime Gun.
Look,
have a second head.
That's just not the same. Like, I'm assuming you misspoke, like, whatever.
Phil brought up his own gout. If he had just kept his mouth shut, no one would have known.
I hate it. I hate it so badly, and it sucks. And for me, it's if I kind of manage everything, it's relatively self-inflicted. If I get a flare up, sometimes though, I take alpurinol, which is like that is a gout medicine, but
actually no quarter pounder. He doesn't know what it is because he doesn't take medicine for his gout. So you're wrong.
So I always thought that was funny. I felt like a kindred spirit when I was reading these articles. Like, oh, he's upset that people are giving him shit about gout. Like, okay, probably not the best thing to use as a shield for Ching Chong Bing Bong, though.
No, see, that's the thing. They'll take something that I was, first of all, it wasn't even like I was on a stream and I was, oh, let's have a serious conversation. It was like a pre-stream where people were like filing into my stream and I was giving like a little interim talk before I start with my gameplay for the day. A lot of the times I'm shooting the shit. I'm just joking around or I'm just messing around. And someone will ask me like a super like question. They're really trying to start something. You know what I mean? Like they're purposely trying to get a rise,
when it's a bait
incite
question.
something. And so a question comes in and it was like, how do you justify that? Well, how do you complain when people make fun of your own personal issues like your gout?
Yeah.
How do you say that's not right? But then you could make a racial joke, like you just said, a generalized racial joke, and that's okay. And I guess maybe I didn't elaborate myself in the best way. I don't know. It was literally a 2-minute thing out of a 4+ hour stream.
That spawned like 4.
Stream.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 articles that wrote about that.
Yeah, I don't know where they got it from. Someone had to tip them off or say something. It had to be a slow news day, and they had nothing to write about, and someone sent them something. Oh, here's a clip of a streamer or whatever.
Yeah.
And but no, obviously, if you would allow me to take a minute to actually clarify what I'm saying. There's a difference between generalized humor and a personal attack. Okay, generalized humor, making a generalized joke about a race, making a generalized joke about a gender, making a generalized joke about anything that's a category that's in general, is not directed at a singular person, right? So yes, you could take it personally if you're a person of that group, absolutely. And I do think that there are situations where you can go to the extreme and it is too far. But I don't honestly feel, besides maybe I can say one time ever, that I know I went too far, and I've apologized for it profusely over the years. This was something that happened in 2010, by the way. So we're talking 9 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
And people still bring it up to this day. But outside of that one instance, I don't ever feel like when I do generalized humor about a race or whatever, that it's over the top insulting towards that race, and I'm meaning to like maliciously attack people of that race. It's more of a generalized observation, much like Chris Rock makes so many racial observations in his kind of comedy.
Are you Chris Rock?
And, if I do something like that, most of my audience gets it. There's always a few people who don't. In fact, I realized over the years not to do it anymore because when I do those generalized racist jokes, I say racist, but you know what I mean. That's how they categorize it as racist.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
People will get upset no matter what. In this current climate, people just can't take that kind of joke anymore. 10 years ago when I started on YouTube, people loved it. In 2010, or was it 2009? I can't remember. I had a top 10 most racist moments of the year countdown on.
Thank you for exposing that to the world, Phil, that, yeah, you had a top 10 most racist video. Thank you for telling people you are just racist.
On YouTube, and it was one of my
most apologized just to cover his ass.
It was all
there's no actual
kind of jokes that I made,
it.
things that other people said in my videos, and it was popular. People loved it. Now, my God, you show them that video today, they'll try to crucify it.
Yeah.
So do that.
Isn't that funny? In 10 years, it feels like 100. People have just gotten totally. So if I'm understanding you, allow me to paraphrase. You tell me if I'm understanding you correctly. Look, you make some like, "Hey, Asians are bad at driving," haha. Like there's no malicious intent there.
Yeah, filibustering.
And also similarly, you could say, "Ha, gout, fucking King's disease. Who the fuck gets gout anymore?" That's like a joke about gout. You would say that's okay, but don't say, "Haha, Phil, you stupid fuck, you have gout." That kind of thing. Is that? Am I understanding right?
It's a fact that I have it, right? It's a fact that I have it. Yes, I don't always have it. It flares, like it flares up, it goes away. It's something I'll have to do for the rest of my life, and it's a diet thing and a medication thing, and it is what it is. But when people come to my stream and say, haha, you have gout, well, first of all, okay, what's your point? This is a gameplay stream. What the hell? Okay. It's not funny. It's not topical. It's just completely derailing the stream. What are you even talking about? Why are you bringing that up? It's jarring. People are like, what the hell are you even saying that for? But then you get the person, you fat mother effer, you waste of life, you stupid alcoholic piece of crap. You have it because you're a disgusting individual. Well, obviously they just broke every possible rule that you should have on a stream, and they're going to get moderated for it, right?
Is that what
that's what I mean?
Right.
Is that what gets you the booze? For me, it's if I drink too many days kind of in rapid succession, and if I eat like grease.
You mean you drink so much that you piss in a drain because you're too drunk to go upstairs and use the bathroom like a regular fucking human? Sure.
Greasy food. That's what gets me. I know there's lots of different you get like a list, and it's like, oh, you shouldn't eat like greens, like super green greens, or this food list. For me, if I go out on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I ate like shit over the weekend, it gets me every time. It'll last fucking 2 weeks.
For me, it's the red meat. Like, I used to eat tons of red meat. I used to eat steak. I would have burgers. I would, every moment, lunch meat. I loved red meat. And I would drink.
Okay.
I used to drink way more back in the day.
Were you like a wine guy?
I was like rum. At one point, I was really heavily into rum, and then it was like gin and mixed drinks, not not shots,
me too.
but like
That's
mixed drinks,
too.
stuff like
mixed
that.
Drinks. Yep.
And
mixed drinks.
Not having any kind of responsibility, or just eat red meat 5 days in a row. Drink, drink whatever I wanted. I'm a fucking YouTuber. I just got to film videos tomorrow. Who cares if I got a hangover when I play video games, right?
Basically, that was a
That's
good
how my
morning.
attitude
Exactly.
was when I first started this whole thing 10 years ago. And it caught up with me about, I think it was 2015. It caught up with me in 2015 where I got bad
about 30?
all of a sudden. At that point, I was, 33.
Yeah,
33.
That's about when it hit for me, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think you're fat. Like, I'm a big guy. And
I'm a big guy.
I never had a problem till I was probably 33, 34. Then one day I woke up and I couldn't walk. And
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
What did I do? Did I break my foot? What did I do? Because you don't think it could be gout. You're like, I sprained my ankle. I broke a bone. What the hell did I do?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that was kind of the running joke around
bro.
my family, even with me. Like, gout, what the fuck? And I'm like, hey, imagine having broken glass in your joint.
Yep.
And then having it always be there, where my big toe is like swollen up to like 3 times the size,
Right.
And people around me eventually understood, like, okay, well, we're not gonna give them shit about it because we know, like, it's brutally painful.
It's debilitating. It's to the point where your life has to change for 2 weeks until it goes away.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad. And people want to make fun of you. And you're like, dude, I'm sitting on a stream pretending my foot doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
So
man, anyone doesn't have gout by 33.
I'm trying to put on a
Exactly.
happy face for a stream when I've got daggers in my foot. And people want to make fun
Do
of
you
me
get
for
it?
Like,
Do you
come
get it
on.
in your foot
I mean,
too?
whose fault
where
is
you
that,
get it?
Phil?
Yep,
Okay.
foot. Same thing as you, big toe. Because that's the most common place.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, because I read about, like, there's sometimes people getting their elbow, sometimes people get whatever. For me, it's always big toe, and no walking, no amount of elevation matters. Like, no sock on foot, foot out, and just ride it out. And if you go have a good doctor, you get some pain meds, but otherwise,
The Gouty brothers.
like
The Gouty brothers in arms.
So let me ask you.
All right, I gotta get going to work. If I can, I'll be back on my phone later.
Seattle now.
All right, man. Thank you for stopping by.
I live just outside of Seattle.
Seattle
suburb of
area.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Somebody asked this
Talk to you
question.
later, man. Take
It's
care.
more specific. I got a bunch of questions would probably seem like some of your fans too. So maybe this is like said. When DSP moved out to the Seattle area, he was excited to meet people, experience the outside. And look, if these are like secret clone troll questions, I literally don't know. I try to pick the ones that seem genuine. Experience more outside of his new home. Does DSP feel like he accomplished any of this?
The reason they're asking that question is because they know that because of my current
is it a
financial
troll
situation, it's a
Okay.
financial situation question.
Financial
They know I have to
situation,
work
so that
6
means
days
you
a
know
week
you
full-time,
have,
and I get 1 day a week off to spend with my wife.
That means you
and
have
that's
money
it.
problems.
I don't have time to go out and have friendships. I literally have to work my ass off to keep everything I have because I'm in a really bad financial position behind the scenes. So when they're
Behind
asking
the
that, they're taking a
scenes?
jab and saying, haha, Phil doesn't have friends. He doesn't have a life outside his
all
streams.
right. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No, it's
I
cool.
didn't know.
I know you didn't know. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Let me ask you. So, if this is too specific, we can skip it. Totally. Like, this has been great and really informative for me this far too. I hope you're having a good time. I'm having a good time.
Sure. Absolutely.
He sure is.
So one of the things so many people bring up.
Give him what he
is
wants.
Fucking, like, I'm not gonna ask you anything specific, but as a content creator, I had to learn the hard way, just like you did, and I'm thinking that I understand the situation better than most of the detractors would. A lot of people bring up the taxes shit, and I try to explain to people what it's like getting big checks from YouTube or Twitch, and then
big checks.
learning to plan financially around that. My first 2 years, I was making any money on YouTube. I had 1 year I had to pay in like $40,000, and I had nothing. Right, so I was like I had to extend my taxes to October, and I had like $5,000. I had to borrow money from my parents just to pay my fucking taxes. And then the next year,
wait, what were you doing that you had $40,000 in taxes that you had to pay? Like, what the fuck were you doing? You had $40,000 in taxes, Jeremy. Like, dude. What the fuck did you do? Jeez.
My accountant was like, hey, you should really be paying in every month. And I was like, I just borrowed all this money from my parents. I got to pay them back. Plus, I got to pay my life, pay my bills. I can't do that. And only recently did I end up in a situation where I can effectively plan around income and pay in every month. Is that something is that kind of describe why things are tight the way they are, or am I not understanding? Because I'm thinking when people bring up your taxes, I'm like, oh, I know why. Because
it's too high, but still, like, Jesus Christ.
Like, whoops, you owe this bunch of money, and then you end up behind, and then behind, and then behind,
right?
Things like that.
For me, it's okay. That's obviously that factors into it, but sadly for me, my story is it's a lot more complex. I go into it, and I guess you can make a judgment call on if this is something that people should hear or not, I guess.
All right, let me write down the timestamp so I can go back, and you can decide later if you want me to keep it. Go ahead.
So
when I started on
YouTube, I was making ridiculous money out of nowhere. It was just insane, the amount of money I was making. For 2 years, I made more money than I'll probably ever make in my life in 2 years. Like, it was just insane. I couldn't believe it. And then after that, the bubble burst. It was the first bubble that burst on YouTube. And the money went boom. I'm like, okay, I'm still making good money. Like, even with the dip, I'm still making crazy good money. And I took all that money that I made in those years, and I saved a lot of it, and I used it to pay off all my previous debts of my life. Like, I had student loans, I had all kinds of shit, and I paid it all off. So I was in the clear. Like, essentially, all I had was a mortgage on a condo in Connecticut that I lived in, where I made all my content in. And that was it. That was, and by the way, not a ritzy place or whatever, but Connecticut is expensive as shit. Connecticut is very expensive. So even a little place costs over $100,000 in Connecticut. That's how crazy expensive everything is there.
Sure.
So I have this mortgage and no debt.
How long
At that
ago
point,
was
I was
this?
living. What's that?
How long ago was this? Early 2000s?
So that was 2011, 2012, and to some extent 2013.
Gotcha.
So I was making so much money that I was like, I gotta get out of here. I hate living in Connecticut. I seriously got to get out of this state. The state is way too expensive. The taxes there are astronomically high. Yeah. I'm paying state tax plus a business tax, like a extra tax on top of it, plus federal income tax, and prices are high. Everything's like insane. Why am I operating a business out of Connecticut when I'm a YouTuber? I could live in a million other places that are cheaper.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
So I looked at that point. I looked at the whole country, and I was looking at different areas. Florida and Texas are both like ridiculously good for business, but the weather sucks.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to live there.
You might like
Very
that.
hot.
Some people
humid,
like it.
Hot. Yeah.
I live in Wisconsin. I don't like it, but So a lot of internet personalities live in Texas.
Yeah, this is the interview, Mars Champ. This is the quartering interview
like
from
one of the best
2019
business
for
friendly states. For taxes, it's like nothing. You get away with everything basically. You don't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing my research, I'm doing all this research, and I find out about the state of Washington. They have no state income tax, but the taxes here are decently.
The sales tax are high though, right?
Sales tax, I believe, is around 10%.
Yeah,
but I was already paying 7% in Connecticut. Yeah, and out here with no state income tax, it's way bigger savings because I'd rather spend money when I choose to spend than just have it taken away by default. You know what I mean? So
that makes sense.
So out here, the weather I like better and everything. The houses out here way cheaper than in Connecticut. Like I could get a place 5 times bigger than what I had in Connecticut for the same price. That's how crazy it was. So eventually in 2014, I moved out here, and I got this place is where I live now.
Where's
And
this
so
with
now
your
I-
YouTube
When he
timeline?
moves to
This
one of
is,
the most
you're on
expensive
Twitch
parts of the
now
U.S.
at 2014, right?
Well, I had started doing direct capture in
Thus,
2013 and streaming on
where you
Twitch, but I
realize
was
he was
not a
supposed to be
full-time
paying
streamer.
for
In fact,
shit
I
and
never took
renting.
streaming seriously at
Yes.
all until 2017 when the adpocalypse happened on YouTube.
Okay, gotcha.
So I streamed, but I made no money doing it. It was a fan service for people who wanted to see me live. I was still 100% in on income I was getting from YouTube ad revenue. That was
Okay.
my way I was
Gotcha.
making a living.
Okay.
So I move in 2014, and I'll be honest with you, my channel was starting to slow down. You could see it was getting a slow decline, but there was
Yeah.
no like shocking warning signs that things were going to go
Okay.
horribly wrong. Within 1 year of me moving out here, just to give you some perspective here, okay?
yeah.
I got swatted. I
that's scary.
had a ton of stuff happen behind the scenes to my family that I don't even want to talk about publicly because it's shocking.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay. My channels were stricken down repeatedly with false copyright strikes because YouTube's program is such a piece of garbage. You can just impersonate whoever you want.
Yeah.
And it forced my channel to lose
Was that
millions
the
of
Bethesda
views.
bullshit? Was that where
No.
somebody like impersonated or Ubisoft or something?
No, that was the first time that ever happened was
The
back
first
in
time.
2010, and that's why I created a new channel called DSP Gaming.
Dude,
Originally, I was
was
just on
that-
Darkside
yeah.
Phil, and someone impersonated an Ubisoft employee and got Darkside Phil shut down, so I started DSP Gaming. Later, I got that cleared up.
Yeah.
But in 2015, people impersonated different gaming companies, and then they actually listen to this conspiracy. Okay,
Yeah.
they actually made fan art for me to use in my videos.
Oh,
and
I
they
heard
put it
about
up-
this.
Yeah,
I heard
they
about
put it
this.
up on my forums in like January, February
forums?
of 2015. Oh, Phil, here, use this fan art.
That's
They
brutal.
waited for me.
Yeah.
They waited 6 months for me to use the fan art in all these videos, and then they struck them all down on YouTube, saying that I'd
Yeah.
stolen it without permission.
That was brutal. That was
And-
bad.
Overnight, I had to delete so many videos that my channel lost like around, I think it was between 6 to 10 million views. And when that happens with the YouTube channel,
Yeah.
YouTube essentially says that's a red flag. Something's really wrong with the channel that's losing 10 million views. It must have been that they were doing something underhanded or whatever. And
Yeah.
immediately what the algorithm does, it kicks your channel from the search ratings.
Yep.
So overnight,
Yeah.
my channel, DSP Gaming, that used to be one of the top channels always for gaming, became unheard of. And no one could find
You
it on
chose
YouTube. People
that,
would
Phil.
search for my videos and couldn't find them on YouTube.
Mhm.
And that was the first year during the fall gaming season when a bunch of new video games always come out, September, October,
It's the
November,
money.
December.
Yeah, it's the money
That's
months.
the money
October.
season.
Yeah.
I would get a giant spike in views and a giant spike in money. My views went down.
My
I
views
was
went
like,
down.
you gotta be kidding me. And ever since then, it's been thing after thing. Wait till you hear the next one. So that was 2015. So I'm trying to recover from that. It's very hard because now I've got all this debt in my name. I've got 2 homes in my name, all this
Yeah.
stuff going on. Then the next year, I find out my tax accountant from Connecticut did my taxes wrong for several years.
Yes, he did it wrong.
And
Well,
he
I
screwed
know
me
what
over.
it's like filing as a internet personality. Good luck finding an accountant that knows how to fucking do that. You know, like
Well, this one.
well,
yeah.
maybe if
this
you pay
one
your
was
taxes,
just
it wouldn't be a
laziness.
problem.
This guy, when I moved out here to the state of Washington, told
There's a
me,
lot wrong
don't
with the
worry,
channel."
even though I'm stationed in
Yeah.
Connecticut, I can continue to do your taxes for you. I know what I'm doing. I'm a good guy. I know everything. So he did my taxes for 2014, 2015, 2016. I get a notice at the end of, well, it was during 2017. I get a notice from the state here.
in
Oh, were you
Washington.
aware that yeah, the Washington State. Are you aware that there's business taxes here that you haven't paid for 3 or 4 years, and now you owe us all this money in back taxes? I was like, what? I was
Yeah.
told by my guy there's nothing. So I contact my guy. He's like, oh, I don't know, nothing. Don't talk to me no more. Basically, that was his approach. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
hear nothing because he was afraid.
I think maybe your tax guy told you to look it up to make sure, and you didn't. So now it's on you.
I was going to sue him. So I had to find a new tax guy. I ended up being so much money in the hole, and now my tax guy charges me so much money to fix this issue. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars, okay, out of nowhere. Money that I already had a decrease in income because of all that trolling activity and the false copyright strikes, and I'm just trying to recover from that. And then this happens on top of it. And since then,
And
it's like
this happens
seriously
on
thing after
top
thing.
of
And I
it.
can't talk about all of it publicly because there's personal things that happen behind the scenes
That's
that I
fine.
cannot disclose. But it's just like, it's a shitty situation where like I'm stuck and there's no way to fix it. There's no quick fix solution.
Yeah, it is. It's called paying your fucking taxes. That's the quick fix solution. Pay your taxes. That is the solution. You pay your taxes and talk to somebody who lives in the state that knows the tax laws. So that's the quick fix solution, Phil. You chose to not pay anything for 3 to 4 years.
I'm stuck with multiple properties. The one in Connecticut I can't get rid of because the property I owe way more on the mortgage than what it's worth. The property value actually dipped in the 10 years that I
about
did.
that. People asked about the other property. So you're still stuck with that now?
I'm stuck with it.
And unload it?
I can't unload it. I tried short selling it. It got declined.
Damn.
They won't do it. I can't get rid of it. And essentially it's to the point where no matter what I do, I'm screwed. So I have to choose the lesser of two evils. Do I ruin my credit?
Yeah.
You know?
My
do one
sister's
thing,
in that same spot. Yeah.
You know? So I don't know what I'm going to do. And that's what the people constantly ask me, why are you always asking for money on streams? I don't want to. If you actually watch back
I'm
in the day when I
very
was on
sure that he
YouTube
didn't say
and
that.
I was making the big money before all this happened, I never asked for anything. I was happy. I just come make
never asked for
videos,
anything.
put out the content. It was never about that. I don't want my streams to be about that. In fact, when I'm doing a live stream, the reason I do this lengthy pre-stream is because I want to get that bullshit out of the way so we can have
Lengthy
fun with games.
pre-stream.
That's all I want to talk about is having fun with games. I don't want to have it to be, I have to constantly be like, oh, by the way, reminder, guys, help me with the tip and do this and do that. That's not the kind of guy I am, but that's what I've been forced to become over the years because of my financial situation behind the scenes.
So then who's at fault?
And people bring it up constantly that feels...
Then who's at fault, Phil? If this is what you chose to become, who's at fault? If this is where your decisions have led you, who's at fault? You can't blame detractors. You can't blame the tax guy. This is all on you. You chose this, nobody else. Good job, Phil.
Feels a shill and feels only about the money. It's like, but I did YouTube for 2.5 years and never made any money doing it because I love doing it.
Again, no one makes money starting off YouTube.
Then when I was a full-time YouTuber for 6 years, I wasn't hassling people for money constantly. It was only until all of a sudden in the past 3.5 to 4 years that all these things compiled on top. These really, I mean, I know it's a ridiculous story. Like, so you're going to tell me, Phil, really we're supposed to believe that false copyright strikes made your channel die on YouTube, then your taxes were done wrong, then more stuff happened. Yeah, I know it's a crazy story, but that's my life at this point. And it sucks that that's the reality I live in. And I have to do like I'm doing an event coming up tomorrow where I'm hoping to raise some extra funds so that I can pay bills for this coming month, because if I don't, I'm going to be...
So we're admitting that we're begging about money to pay bills. Okay.
Be screwed. I will have overdrafts. I will have fees. People will be calling me, where's your money? Where's the money? And it's like I said, it's come to the point in my personal life now where I have to make a decision. What do I ruin? Who do I not pay, or what decision do I make that's going to ruin my life because of these things that have all compiled? And my hope is that within 5 to 10 years, I can get this cleared up and I can get a full-time job outside of YouTube and Twitch where I've got consistent income that's not reliant on things that can be screwed over for me. And then I can balance that with maybe streaming 2 hours a day, 5 times a week, and I have extra income from that. And I can wean myself off of being such a guy who's forced to be here 6 days a week full time. Because I am. I can't not. The day I don't stream is the day another bill doesn't get paid. And that's the situation I'm in, and people don't seem to understand that. They think I'm making it up. They think that my money is being put into some bank in the Cayman Islands and I got a yacht somewhere. You know, there's crazy stuff that they say.
No one says you have a yacht. People just said you mishandle your money. That's it.
Strike me as somebody that lives lavishly.
The thing is, my house is nice. Like, this house here is pretty nice. And the reason that it's a nice house is because, like I said, in Washington, house prices are really cheap compared to what I came from in Connecticut. So I was able to get a house for a really reasonable price when I bought it. But you're right. Like, the stuff around me is old. Nothing. I've had this microphone for 4 years. You know, I haven't bought a backup hard drive to back up videos in 2 years because I can't afford to do it anymore. Like, I'm just done. I've cut every corner. And you're right. Like, I used to be the guy when I made so much money on YouTube. Look at the new statue I frivolously bought today of a Marvel character. I don't do that stuff. I can't afford that anymore. I can't do anything anymore. But people want to pretend like I'm still the Phil from back then, and like I'm pulling some scam every day, a new way to scam the viewers and make money, when in reality it's just a really messed up life situation I'm in, and I hope to one day get out of it.
Do you think 2 questions. Hey, did you ever think about making a new channel? Like if that other one's been kind of, because I have the Quartering and I have like Midwestly and I even have a new third. I'm always creating new channels because I'm always afraid of what happened basically to your DSP gaming channel. Have you thought about trying that?
I've done it.
Okay.
Over the years, I've done it. At one point, I had a channel that was just for fighting games, but that I had to get rid of because Machinima screwed me over at one point. I won't get into that because Machinima doesn't exist anymore, so who cares?
Yeah.
In 2016, I made a channel called KO Gaming, and this channel was exclusively to be not what I do on my streams, which is just raw gameplay, but this was where I was going to take the footage from the raw gameplay and edit it together into really, high production value game reviews or countdown videos, the kind of stuff that you see on YouTube all the time that's really popular, that's not raw, it's edited stuff. And the channel took off. The channel, within 6 months, I had a video that had over 1 million views. I was making thousands of dollars on it. It was really good.
Yeah.
And then guess what happened? YouTube demonetized it.
Really?
For no reason. Every video I started uploading got demonetized, and they wouldn't explain why.
Rented a BMW. Yeah, that's your fault.
The dispute.
Yeah, the request. Yeah.
It would take 4 days. They would fix it, but I'm working my ass off putting videos on YouTube, and I can't make any money on them. After 4 days, you can't make any money on a video anymore. It's already live.
No, you can make money on a video after 4 days. Plenty of people have, and plenty of people still do. Again, Phil, it's all about being entertaining. I get it. It's a hard concept. I understand that. But, Phil, the thing with this is you still have to understand that you also bear responsibility for this. This isn't just everyone else has to bear the responsibility of your failings. Just like if I want my channel to grow, I can't blame other people for my channel not growing. That is all on me as the host of the channel. As I've stated earlier, thumbnails, more entertaining, engaging. Some of these things I feel I fall short on. That's all on me. That has nothing to do with the audience. That has nothing to do with people that may have come in for a few minutes, said this ain't for me, and noped right on out of here. That's life. But you went from a big channel to a small channel because you never changed. Even though you always talk about, oh, I've changed, you haven't changed. We can take current day Phil, overlap him on 5-year-old Phil now, and overlap the 5-year-old now Phil onto another 5-year-old now Phil from then. And it would still be the same Phil. The content would be the same. And you have said numerous times, the content hasn't changed. Well, then if the content hasn't changed, then you haven't evolved as a YouTuber.
I know that. Yeah, you get 80% of your views in the first.
Never had
hours,
anything to respond.
Yeah,
same here, Bill.
So for me, it was like there was two things that happened. That happened, and then also, of course, my detractors.
Yeah, it was
immediately knew that channel was me, and started spamming the videos with downvotes and nasty comments. This is DSP, the person who we hate. Here's all the nasty stuff he's done over the years. How are you going to have a new audience of people come into a channel that looks like it's fresh and new and it's exciting, and the first thing they see is disgusting stuff about, defamatory stuff about me in the comments?
Yeah.
It's not defamatory if you've done it, Phil. Like, you don't understand, like, something can't be defamatory if it's something you've said. Okay, you have said these heinous things. You have done these heinous acts. You can't blame a bunch of people for putting a negative spin to your name that you've already placed there yourself.
They don't even care. They're like, I don't care about that. I watched the video. It's actually pretty good. But they get bombarded with the toxicity. So it was a combination of the two factors that in 2017, when the YouTube apocalypse hit, I was like, so not only are they going to demonetize every video on the channel, but then I can't make money anyway because they just halved the amount of money you could make on a video to begin with. Why am I going to focus on YouTube anymore? And that's when I decided enough is enough. I know I have enough of a supportive fan base. I'm taking my ass to Twitch, and I'm just going to do this full time. And I had enough of YouTube, and that's my attitude for the past.
Yeah, that aged well, didn't it, Phil?
My videos are just archives of what I do on Twitch, and I don't care. I'm not going to edit nothing. I'm not going to put the hard time and effort into doing that kind of work that I did for a whole year there on KO Gaming just to have it destroyed because of a YouTube algorithm because they're lazy over there. So I'm not going to put up with it anymore.
Good job,
I
Phil.
tried to diversify, and sadly, after a year, it didn't work out anymore.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I completely understand why you feel that way, and you're really.
You were
more of a
about to say
streamer
I
anyway,
disagree.
since
You was about to say I don't disagree and cut that shit. Let's say that one more time.
Diversify, and sadly, after a year, it didn't work out anymore.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean,
I don't disagree. I mean, yo, Quartering walked that shit back with the quickness.
completely understand why you feel that way, and you're really more of a streamer anyway, since really gameplay videos I think evolved to streamers.
Live streams. Yep.
Yeah, I mean Let's Plays were huge in 2010, but now we're all streaming, and well, I'm not, but streamers stream these games, and that's where people like to watch them.
What defamation is.
So
exactly.
Let me ask you, and we'll wrap it up here in the next less than 10 minutes. You've been great. I do appreciate the time.
No problem.
So, where do you think? How do I put this? Where do you want? Kind of, when you say that you want to wean off YouTube and get into like something more stable, I understand that. I YouTube too.
I understand that.
I don't stream, but we live by the same basic rules.
Right.
And I work full time still. And I tell my people constantly, like my viewers, like I'll never quit my job,
I'll never quit my job.
What was the last job that you even remember? What was the last thing you did before you started this?
I was working for a helicopter parts company based out of Connecticut. They were a subsidiary of a much larger company called Sikorsky Aircraft, which is a part of another big company called United Technologies. You might have heard of them because they make a ton of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this company essentially was the middleman between someone who owned a helicopter and the companies who would repair helicopter parts. So if you owned and operated a helicopter, maybe you were an oil rig company and you need to fly your people back and forth to the oil rig. I was the guy who would take your call. I would listen to your problem. I would talk to my guys, my techs, figure out what's going on with your helicopter, place an order for a part for you, or I would get your part in that's broken and get it repaired for a reasonable price and get it back to you as soon as I could. So I did that for about 2.5 years. And then the job told me that they wanted me to expand and do more. So even though I was getting paid to do the job of a customer service rep, they trained me in what's called Achieving Competitive Excellence, or ACE, which is continuous improvement. What I would do is I would look at a part of a job and I would map out every step of the process. So for example, with a YouTuber, you would say, step 1, brainstorm the idea for the video. Step 2, record the video. Step 3, edit the video. Step 4, upload. And I would map out that process step by step and say, what step is the step that takes so long that you really should shorten this to save more money or make it more efficient. And I went for training for all of this, and I redesigned 2 entire processes within the company. So for 5 years, I worked for this company. For 2.5 years, I'm getting paid the job of like a line-level customer service rep. Well, I'm doing a job of someone who should be getting paid double.
Yeah.
Then the company completely screwed up, lost all this money, and
laid me off. Yeah,
of course.
Get Phil on the phone.
So I never got paid for any of the work I did. Like all this, I was promised the world. Oh, you're gonna get promoted.
All right, listen, we got to get Phil on the line right now, okay? Right now. Phil needs to be on the line. He's already mapped this shit out. He can turn out and fix it for us. Call him now.
Promotions for doing all this extra work. I got laid off out of nowhere, blindsided. And thank God I was doing YouTube during that time as a hobby for about 2.5 years, and I had something to try to do to make a living, because there was nothing else available in Connecticut in that job sector. I would have had to get a job that probably paid way less money, and I had just gotten a condo and all this debt in my name there for that job. I had actually gotten a condo. I purchased it. It was like 2 blocks away from the job to try to be able to go to work more quickly and everything. And they screw me over. I'm the guy they lay off, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I jumped right into YouTube after that. Luckily, it was a miracle because, like I said, I never expected that YouTube would be something I would make $1 doing.
Yeah. So, okay.
No one cares, Phil.
If I'm being over presumptuous here, I apologize. But even so, like, where my YouTube channel is now, somebody might look at it. When your channel was peaking, it was like 13 million views. That's where I'm at.
Peaking.
Right.
And
congratulations, dude, because that's great. I remember what it was like back then.
yeah. But, I've had plenty of cautionary tales before me, so I've been, I know. I mean, look, neither one of us are going to do this. Probably 5 years from now, we're both not doing this anymore.
At least not full time. No way.
Yeah, right. What would be your dream job type, or like, you know, it doesn't have to be a dream job, but you know, the type of field you'd like to be in after you stabilize?
See, for me, ultimately, my old plan when I was making the big money on YouTube was that I wanted to do that for, say, maybe 5 to 7 years and save up enough money that I could open up a different kind of business, completely separate from the internet, a brick and mortar business. What it would have been, I have absolutely no idea. I tossed around ideas with relatives and stuff that I could do a restaurant, I could do a sale, some kind of a sales business. Who knows, right? I don't know, but that was my plan. Was I knew. Even back then, the YouTube thing wasn't going to last forever.
It aged very
and
poorly.
I wanted to diversify and do something completely different. And the money I was making at that point looked like I would be able to save it up and do it. And then all the stuff happened to me over the years that's not viable anymore. You know, that would be my dream thing, to be able to own and operate my own business outside of YouTube. Yeah. And outside of Twitch.
Why haven't you done it?
That would be something that I could say, not only
why haven't
am I
you done
my
it,
own
Phil?
boss, which I am now, but now I could do something that maybe
still do
isn't
this.
so reliant on internet interactivity and people messing with you constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You come to my stream and you mess with me, you get moderated or whatever, big deal. You come to a business and you start doing stuff in person, you're gonna get arrested. Right? So there's a big difference there. And I know that would probably be something more I could control or whatever. Of course, you always have an online
Depends
factor.
on
Imagine
what
if I
it
had a
is.
restaurant
Most times they'll
yeah, it would be the best.
You'd have to,
his spaghetti smells like his gout or something, you know.
Yeah.
It's just the dumbest shit. But that's what I mean. Like, that's what I always wanted to do. And it just sucks because right now, that's the dream. The dream would be, let's say in 5 years, I could get myself to a better position. I could just do any kind of job to get myself stable, and eventually if I could save money to do it. But I don't know. At this point, like, you know, those days are kind of gone, you know, where I have those kind of aspirations. To me, I just want to have a day where I don't have to worry about what bill is not going to get paid or gets paid today, and, you know, what call am I going to get that's my bank account bounced on this one, and that's just the life situation I'm in now. So,
well, yeah, I'd like to see you get to a point where I really would, to where you're making your monthly income tax payments and you don't get in this situation every year,
right?
Because I could tell you, as somebody who struggled to get there, now that I'm there, this is the second year that I've done it, and life, it's like you live on a little bit less, but then you don't live in fear from January to April, you know, and then extend your taxes to October if you're like me. But all right, we'll finish on a funny note. All right. I have. This is the most popular.
Funny they
question.
asked him this in the cinema. Yeah.
Where did the load go?
Oh, there you go. The money shot. The money question. Where did the load go? Where did you put it?
A tissue.
Oh,
very simple.
Oh,
very
okay.
Nothing complicated, nothing crazy. A tissue. You know, I wasn't stupid. I'm not dumb. You know, it's hilarious. I get so many questions. Phil, what were you watching when it happened?
Oh, what were you watching? Will you share that?
I don't even know. Here's what I can, because here's
some
how I answer.
Generic thing.
I swear, and the thing is because you get a younger audience who are very immature and they think it's some big production. What happened, right?
Yeah. Well, most of us know. By the way, you and I are both in our mid-30s as men. We know how. We know how it goes. Yeah.
Right. It's like, it's just a thing. It's a frivolous thing. Get it over with, and then move on with your day. Right.
Yeah, this is on my schedule. You know,
these kids think that I apparently had aromatherapy candles in the background, and I was like rubbing body oils on my body and getting all
nobody was thinking that
on the stream. No,
that would have been amazing if it was, though. It was so stupid. It was a frivolous, stupid thing, and. You know, it's people. That's what they. Oh, he didn't even wash his hands because I had tissues. You know, what do you think I'm doing here? Like, you guys are freaking out of your minds with the stuff that they make up about this. But you know what? Out of all that, as silly as it is, and the fact I know I'll never live it down. I laugh at it all the time. It's hilarious.
No,
you got really lucky. That's what I always say about it. I was like, man, he's lucky his dog wasn't on camera. Like,
right?
You got. I mean, as unlucky as you were to have the stream on, you were equally lucky that you didn't get a lifetime ban. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's a thing that people say, the people who spin it. Did you know that Darkside Phil is a chronic masturbator who does it in front of thousands of children every morning? This is his ritual, and here's the evidence. And they show the screen capture of my face. And like, are you crazy? But people believe it because people have talked about it for 3.5 years now, and they think that this is like something that what really happened. The true story is, it was early morning. The stream, I turn on my stream and I play music. Now I play music. Back then I just used to play like the PS4 dashboard theme while I run some promo ads over the screen to show, here, go buy something from my Teespring store, blah, blah, blah. And I was running it, and I accidentally
dropped you because of the shit you were doing. You weren't moving products, so they got rid of you. They said it's time to go.
On the screen in the corner, I had no knowledge.
Obviously, yeah.
And it's an honest, and it's a stupid thing to happen. And I know I'll never live it down, but it's not a big deal to me. Like, is it embarrassing? Hell yeah. If anything, the one thing that's come out of it positive, if anyone asks me, what's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you, Phil? I don't have a hard time answering. I got right away. Yeah. But outside of that, like, I was lucky. You're right. I'm always smart. You notice today, my webcam, you don't see anything below the belt here. Yeah. It's always my upper torso. This is how it's always been. So Phil, I knew when people exaggerate for it to be something so ludicrous, it's like, did you actually even see what it was? Yeah. It's just my O face. That's all it is. You don't see anything else. But people want to make it out like it's the worst, horrendously disgusting thing ever. You watch movies. Did you ever see American Pie? That fucking Jason Biggs did way worse than I did in that.
Phil, this is a movie, okay? A movie, he is being paid to fucking have sex with a pie. Everyone knows it is not real. Everybody knows it is for comedy. You were not comedy. You were not paid to masturbate on stream as a joke. You decided to masturbate on stream yourself. Exactly.
In that movie, and he got paid for it and I didn't. So it's like,
well, you got paid kind of. I mean, it would have been amazing if there was aromatherapy and oils. Like, I mean, it will still always be popular, but if it had been a big production, was there ever any like, what the fuck did so here's the other theory around it, is that Twitch was like, had some in-depth conversations with you about it. My position has always been, no fucking way Twitch was like, yo, Phil, what the fuck? My guess is it's been like totally generic. But what was there any communication at that time with Twitch or anything like that?
Here we go, and here's the great answer. Get ready for this one, because this is so hilarious to debunk all of it. I wasn't streaming on Twitch at the time. I was streaming on YouTube.
Oh,
there was 2 years that I wasn't streaming on Twitch because at one point Twitch had forced me to lower my bitrate. And
I remember that was in the I remember that.
Someone had probably asked about that. They basically came into one of my streams like a year before this had happened and said, you're streaming too high. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, other people are streaming way higher than me, and my quality, if you make me lower, is going to look terrible. So I had issue with that, and I had left Twitch for 2 years.
What a weird thing to say. How early was that? I can't even imagine somebody saying anything like that nowadays.
That was late 2015. Fall of 2015, I was playing an Assassin's Creed game, and they told me to lower my bitrate, so I did, and my stream looked like shit, and I said, I'm out of here. And I left for 2 years. I didn't come back until early 2017. But that's the thing. Did Twitch say anything? No, Twitch wasn't involved. It happened on YouTube.
That's funny.
And
okay.
The thing is, on YouTube, I didn't auto archive anything when it came to the pre-streams. So there was nothing. The only people who got footage of this were people who literally stalk me every day, and they illegally record my streams just in case something like this happens. And did they get their jackpot that day.
Oh, right? Literally.
It went everywhere viral within minutes. It was everywhere all over the internet. And for me, it's like, then that's the thing, the slander. Oh, well, did Twitch ever say anything? YouTube didn't say anything because I never uploaded it. After it broadcast that first time, it never was live on any of my channels, so there was no evidence of anything that had ever happened. It was everyone else posting the content that was basically propagating it, not me. So YouTube never contacted me. Machinima did contact me, and because they were my partnership network at the time. They said, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on? Did you have like a big fallout?" So I was like, it was, nothing really happened. People are laughing at me. I'm laughing with it. I don't, I'm not denying it. I'm just kind of having a laugh at it. And it seems like
I'm
it's
sure
working
you
out and
are.
everything's fine. So after
Well,
that, Machinima never bothered me about it again. YouTube never contacted me, and I wasn't on Twitch, so nothing ever happened in regards to it, which is why it's ludicrous when you hear he masturbated in front of thousands of children. You know how many
Millions.
people? There was like 60 people on the pre-stream, and no one was watching because it was
It's 60 still too much, Phil. Do you not understand? Even if it's one person, it is still too much. It should have never happened, Phil. I love how we're just trying to make this as like, oh, it wasn't as bad as people claim it was. It's not that bad. One is too many, Phil.
just the ad cards running. So no one was even there. It was just a honest, innocent mistake. It wasn't some exhibitionist crazy stunt that I pulled or anything.
Yeah. Well, nowadays on Twitch, if a girl did that, I'd assume it was a stunt. But who knows these days? Look, you've been extremely generous with your time. Is there anything? First of all, I'm going to link your channels in the description, and your Twitch stream and stuff
please
like that.
spell my channel correctly on Twitch. Twitch failed to do when they tried to promote me a couple of weeks ago, and then I had to take it down, which was hilarious.
Yeah, I will. I'm not Twitch. Is there anything, that you would want, a parting thought that you'd want to,
Parting
say to
thought.
anybody?
What I would say is two things. The first is, out of all the negative stuff you've heard about me, some of it's probably true, and some of it is probably gross exaggeration. I openly admit that when I started, the first 3-4 years I did YouTube, I was a complete asshole. I made many, many mistakes back then. I fess up to the things that I said and did, and I wish that I hadn't done them, because I really feel now that I've become a more mature person over the years doing this. And now that I'm an interactive streamer and I actively have these direct interactions with people every day, I see that what I say and do actually affects people on a daily basis. And I didn't see that back when I was just uploading videos to the cloud on YouTube. I didn't have that live interaction. I didn't get to see that. And I thought it was just a joke. And I admit, I said horrible things about game developers. I said things about games and stuff that people still take me to task for to this day as if it happened yesterday. I'm not like that.
And they always will. They always will. That is nothing new. Anything you say and that you haven't answered for, people are still going to bring it up, Phil, because of the fact you have yet to answer for it. That is the way of life. You just deal with it. What's up, Paul? Nobody's going to take Phil down. Phil's going to take Phil down, or a fan.
That anymore. And if anything, give a stream a shot. Come by a stream of mine. Give it a look. If you like it, great. If not, don't. But don't just blanketly believe what people say about me, because sadly, it's become kind of a mob mentality to believe everything that's negatively said about DSP because he's the lol cow. He's the guy who so much bad stuff has happened in his history. All of it must be true. When you get crazy things like Phil hired a escort to come visit him for 3 months one year, and in reality, it was all fabricated. It was scammers in Europe trying to extort me for money behind the scenes. They had made this whole thing up. That's the kind of stuff that becomes like a fact because people believe everything. So don't. Take it all with a grain of salt. Some of it may be true, some of it not. Come check out my streams, right? And the other thing is, understand that it's tough doing what we do for a living. You know what I mean? Like, we have a public face. And when I started doing this 10 years ago, there was zero track history of anyone else who had done it before. I had no one I could look at as someone who I could learn from and say, wow, they screwed up. Let me learn from those mistakes. I made tons of mistakes over the years. I wish that there was someone who I could have looked at their history. Like, people now look at me and see all the stupid shit that I did over the years. And they say, don't be like Darkside Phil, 'cause look what you did, right? And I admit, you're right. I am like a case where you can watch my 11-year history and say, don't do half the stuff he did because look at what happened to him. But please understand that I am an evolving human, and I feel that I really have honestly tried to change for the better over the years. And the fact that people think that things on the internet are black and white and last forever, and people don't change, is really messed up. It's just look at, like we've talked about, cancel culture and all of that. Comedians say something 10 years ago on Twitter, and now they can't even do a stand-up comedy act because people hate them for something they did 10 years ago. That's how it is a lot of the times with me. And it's like, I don't know how do you fix that? How can I change now and make people believe that I'm different than who I was 10 years ago? I don't know how. All I can do is try to honestly put out the best content I can on a daily basis and not remake those same mistakes that I did, way back when.
But you do. You still make those same mistakes. Like, nothing has changed. Like, nothing has changed, Phil.
So if you just give me a shot, maybe you'll like me. If you don't, who cares? Don't ever come back. Go jump back on the lolcow, train and laugh and everything. I don't care. Do all that. Just please understand that what you say and do on this planet has repercussions, concrete repercussions to people. And I and my family have had things happen to me because of the nasty stuff that people have said about me that's not true. Forget the stuff that's true. I don't care about the masturbation thing. Go ahead and joke about it till the cows come home. But when you call me a scammer,
then why do you still get on people for making fun of it, Phil? Why is that still why, Phil? Why?
When you say that I lied to the IRS about my taxes, which I've never done.
You did, or else you wouldn't have had 4 years of back taxes, Phil. Do you not understand how this works? You said you have 4 years of back taxes you need to pay. So somebody lied somewhere along the way, and I'm pretty sure it's not the IRS. Sounds like you lied for 4 years. The lie caught up to you with the IRS, and then you had to turn around and pay them the money you owed. So that would make you a scammer and a liar, Phil.
When you do horrible things behind the scenes to my wife and my family.
Nobody's done horrible things to your wife or your family. You only have a fucking cat and a fat fucking wife. That's all you have. Or this time she was skinny. Nobody did anything to your mother or your father. Just go ahead and stop that shit already. Like, just get that shit out of your head. BK cooking my own fries, got a beer sitting in the ice cold. Hell yeah.
That's really messed up. And it's remarkable. People say to me every day, how do you keep doing what you're doing? I'm like, I don't know. I just must have like the thickest skin, because some of the stuff that people say and do to me on a daily basis, I know people would have given up a million years ago. But I love what I do for a living. I don't want to give up on the fans who I've been here for a very long time. A lot of people have stuck with me over the years, very loyal fans. And just please understand what you say and do has repercussions. Don't be like me 10 years ago, where I would just say and do anything on a video or a stream just to get shocked. It's not worth it if you're going to actually hurt people to get a laugh or a jolly, or to get yourself over, to get you cheap views and money on YouTube. Please be more conscious of what you do, because it does have concrete consequences for the people who you are doing that to.
Yeah, hey, well, that's good advice, I think, in general. And, to me, Phil,
Let me see here. It'd take 2 lie on one to lie. And 1 to listen. So we're both at fault. Phil wants an apology. Yes. Yeah, IRS wants their fucking money. Like, they want their fucking money. Like, that's it. They want their fucking money. They're like, yo, give me my money. Fuck off, give me my money.
I've never had any interactions with you before, and I know there will be people in the comment section of this video that say, Jeremy, I fucking hate you because you didn't call him out on this or call him out on that. And I said to you up front that, and I'll probably put a bumper on this video that tries to like explain that wasn't my intent. It's not my intent to prove or deny X, Y, and Z of particular controversies that you've had in your life. Who the fuck can track them all?
Right.
But what I'd hope to do is get to know you and let people also get to know you. And look, you stood by everything you said. You said, hey, we talked before this. You said, look, I'll talk about that, or I won't talk about this or that, but I'll talk about whatever. And we met in the middle. I got some questions, and I mean, I hope that people watching this were entertained. I definitely had a good time.
This was not entertaining.
I enjoyed talking with you as well. And like I said, the reason I wanted to do this, because that was another question. Why now? Why would I do this particularly with you? Because you actually did a fair video about me. You made fun of me in it, and fair enough. But you were fair and honest, and you actually defended me when these media was coming out of nowhere trying to cancel me, which is hilarious. Like, that's ever going to work. After the shit I've been through, you think you could really cancel?
So then why are you worried about them coming out with articles about you, Phil? Why the fuck should we care then? If your response is like it would ever work, then why would we turn around and care and put that much energy into them putting out articles about trying to cancel you? That's just dumb.
Cancel me, you're out of your mind. But you were so honest and fair with me, and I was like, this seems like a down to earth guy that I could have a conversation with. Unlike a lot of the other people over the years who tried to get me on their shows for shock factor, or they want to get you questions. I'll get him with the get you question, and now we got that snippet we wanted. I didn't get that vibe from you from the video you made, and I said maybe I'll reach out and see what happens, and I had a great time.
All right. Well, I appreciate. I know you streamed tonight. Hopefully, I think you have off tomorrow.
Nope, I'm here. I'm every day. I only get 1 day a week off.
Oh, all right. Well, okay. Well, then you'll be working tomorrow. This will come out in the afternoon.
So that's 2019, and we still work every day except for 1 day. And you fast forward to 2025, and that is still a thing. Good job, Phil.
I'm gonna head to bed. It's earlier for you than me. It's a little after 1 now, but thanks so much, Phil.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, and I really...
There we go. We have that video now. That is the video, the interview I wanted to go over. There was a lot of stuff there that was useless. It wasn't even useful. But it still gave a lot of context of Phil still doing the same thing now as he did then, and things he did then that he still does now. So it has some usefulness. I do want to break down the Side Scrollers interview again, or I started to, I just never finished. So I do want to do that. That's going to be it for me for now. I might do a stream over on Twitch tonight playing a game. I don't know yet. It's still up in the air. But thank you, everybody. I will see you guys. Actually, wait. Hold on. We got hold on. So I will send you guys the WPIG. I don't have a way to raid, so I don't have raiding capabilities just yet. So here, just let them know it's an ice raid. Let them know I sent y'all over. Thank you, everybody. This is Ice Yamamoto signing off. Stay locked on, people.